Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MX Simulator Playoffs. Riding for District Designs, the 250 East Supercross champion, number 19, Rasmus Balzer. Riding for Panini Motorsports, the 250 motocross champion and number 1 seed in the 250 class, number 15, Seth Carr. Riding for District Designs, the number 1 seed in the 450 class, number 24, Colby Eaglin. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round number 2 of the 2024 MX Simulator Playoffs, live here on Start Your Systems TV. I'm Kellen Brower, bringing you guys the action solo tonight. No Andrew Wood, unfortunately, couldn't make it to the broadcast this evening with us, but that's okay. We still have an action-packed night of racing on hand, ready to drop the gates on this second round of the playoffs in Fort Worth, Texas. Man, oh man, what an opening round we had last week. First-time winner and Luke Sullivan gets the job done. Colby Eaglin leaves still in the championship lead in the 450 class, and then no surprise to see dominant performance out of Seth Carr in the 250 class, and he rolls into this second round with a healthy championship lead. But it is double points tonight on the line here in Fort Worth, Texas, and a massive racetrack that these guys have been putting the heat down in for the last hour of qualifying. So let's go ahead and talk about qualifying that is just now wrapping up. We'll get you guys on screen there to look at this at the qualifying here for the 450 class. Pablo Vial fastest tonight, and let's get a little cheeky zoom in if we can. Whoops. But Pablo Vial fastest tonight, rolling into the evening program. 1:16.976, and I actually watched him run this lap time. It was pretty damn good. He was flying around this track, and everyone else is kind of confused how he's going so fast because he put almost a second on everyone else. Braden Carter sneaks in right at the end with a 1:17.8, 1:17.9 out of Seth Shirley, Bendis, Hubbard, Lang, Siebold, everyone in the mix, and our championship leader, number 1 seed Colby Eaglin down here on a 1:19.5, but everybody is pretty close together. These are the guys that are going to make the top 20. They have already made it in. They are seeded in based on either the performance in season or qualifying now. Here's everyone going to the LCQ. Seth Garrett, Pachone, Speck, Pilsner, Quinault. Quinault, of course, we saw last week. win the opening moto of the playoffs, and now he is back in the LCQ once again. We'll see if he can get through and make it. 250 wise, Seth Carr up top again, 118.085. Balzer actually had top qualifying for the last maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes of qualifying, and Carr fired in a burner right near the end to top the sheets by 0.7 of a second. But this Carr Balzer battle is brewing. I feel like we're at the precipice of something like this maybe happening tonight on this racetrack, and hopefully we see them start together. Evan Vanderkoy, Evan with a really solid 119.1, goes third fastest ahead of Evan Holt and Max Wilczek. A lot of guys up there battling for some good positions. I mean, we got guys within a second of each other for a long ways down here, and Race Cobble, last of the qualified guys to make it in. Sean Merwin leads the LCQ runners. Rogan McIntosh, Elliott Person, Timmy Briscoe, and more heading to the last chance qualifier. We will see them in just a moment. I want to look at our standings. Let's see if there's standings. We'll have to go back to our racing screen here on the Battlegrounds to make sure that we can see our standings. Go back to round one. Here we go. Results from round one. This is what it looked like then. Why am I not seeing standings, though? I'm just being an idiot still. No, this is EU. Apologies. One of these days, I'll figure out how to get around this website. But for now, it's pretty easy. Eagle's still got the championship lead coming off of last week. And Seth Carr has the championship lead in the 250 class. But we got double points tonight. That's enough of this. Let's talk about this racetrack, which is going to be a doozy for these guys to go to battle on. Massively long racetrack from one side of this Texas Motor Speedway tri-oval to the other. You guys saw it on the weekend, but we're about to see it right here live on the race screen. Let's send you guys for a little bit of a lap if we can. They're still working on getting these consies ready together, the LCQs, so try to get at least one lap around for you guys to show what it looks like here at Texas Motor Speedway. Pretty tricky racetrack, slippery conditions here tonight. A lot of guys are sliding out in qualifying. I mean, they mimicked it to the real life track very well with those slippery conditions. Got that double triple out to the back right here. Some guys are able to go to this outside line and pop this triple out from here. Just gonna jump off the track real quick, don't mind me. And then they'll go 3-3 and then even 3 around this corner sometimes. Some guys going 2-3-3 from the inside. Got this little 3-5-3 triple coming back onto the start. And of course I'm going to crash while we're watching it. But yeah. Come back across the start right here. Up and over the finish line jump. That'll start your second lap of the race out there. Another big double jump right here. Tricky because the double gaps are variant. The finish line is a little bit shorter. That second one's a little bit bigger. So you got to check up a lot for the first double. And then that next one kind of catches you by surprise because it's a little bit longer. So inside through the split all the way back out here. And then some guys are going inside. Some guys are going outside through here. You're going to see a lot of guys splitting to this outside line. And then they'll tuck back to the inside right here. Corner, and then some guys going inside and some outside. There's a lot of different lines that are possible here, and hopefully that sets us up for some good racing where guys will force the issue on some inside moves. A lot of these ruts crossing back over each other, like this one goes in and out a little bit, and everyone kind of tripling out this little floater onto the start straight, back across into our turn 1 complex, and that is one full lap here at the second round of the MX Simulator playoffs in Fort Worth, Texas. Boy, oh boy. This track is going to be challenging for these guys tonight. It's going to break down. It's going to be slippery. And it is going to test the best MX Simulator players in the world. Eaglin, Carter, Sullivan off his win last week. Who else wants to get in the mix? Seth Surley's looked pretty good. Tyler Lang's going to need a big rebound this week. He had a tough week to kick things off at the opener. And so many other names that would like to put their name in the hat. Tire tap doesn't work there. I did not get a new Twitch. Not sure what you guys are talking about. Oh. Sorry, no idea what you guys are talking about over there. All right, we are just about ready to go. Here's a look at some of our lineups. Consies, the Motos, 450 SMX Moto 1. There is our 250 Consi, Sean Merwin, Rogan McIntosh, Elliott Person, Timmy Briscoe, Will Now, Joey Arico, Emil Hool, Wyatt Grant, Jace Williams, Arthur Miranda, Jacob Arnbrister, Ryan Swanson, Harrison Gafford, Kyler Hockey, Tyler Shields, and Gatlin Morrow. Going to the line for our last chance qualifier, and they're about to line up, people. it is go time here in Texas for our 250 LCQ. For those of you that don't know this format or are confused about what is about to happen here, essentially speaking, it's pretty simple. We're about to have 2 last chance qualifiers run back to back here, and I fear my game just crashed, but we'll hope it works out. 2 last chance qualifiers back to back, and then we will be racing for points. So the LCQs are basically everybody that did not seed their way into the top 20 through Supercross and Motocross in 2024 for MX Simulator action. There are a handful of 250 and 450 guys that are not racing. Of course, 250 class, we always talk about Cade Matherly, finished second in the outdoors. Not in the 250 races anymore. Not sure why he's not racing Battlegrounds, but is not here. And then if you were with us at the end of Nationals in 450 motocross, the champion, Payson Johnson, elected to retire after Nationals, or at least so he says. We'll see if he comes back or not. But yeah, Johnson said he was done. Looks like my game did crash. See if we can wait for it to respond here for a second. But yeah, so no Payson Johnson. He's out of there as well. So we had a couple spots open up in each division, and the way that they did it, instead of real life, which is just there's 20 guys seated in, they're in no matter what, everybody else has to go to the LCQ. Battlegrounds does it so that if there's, let's say, 4 slots available that, 16 of the seated riders showed up, there's 4 slots available. The next 4 fastest riders in qualifying that were unseated make it in. And then everyone behind that has to still go through the LCQ. So it's kind of fun how it all works out. Looks like we're just going to go ahead and have to restart my game. That's always a lot of fun. Not sure why we crashed right away for the evenings to start off, but just the way she goes sometimes. But we'll get back in the server, get going. Apologies for this, everyone who's waiting to drop the gate for this last chance qualifier. I know it's always my fault. I'm always the one that makes everyone wait. But we'll get there when it's time. Beautiful design track, though, by the Battlegrounds track crew. Everyone put a lot of work into this. I know over the weekend they were all trying to find as many reference images as possible and things to replicate the track from the IRL SMX playoff round. And I think it turned out really well. They did a really good job of making it all kind of come together, and we will just see how this track races in a few moments. I think it's going to race really well based on some of the things I saw in qualifying. Like I said, I think the key catalyst you're going to have to watch here tonight is there's a lot of inside lines that kind of flow into those outside lines. And the outside lines seem to be the faster options a lot of the time around the track. But you leave the door open on the inside for someone to maybe, just maybe, get enough in there to block your line on exit. And if that happens, what are you going to do? You're either going to run into them and you're both going to crash, or you're going to check up and let them go. So kind of unique how this track lays out, that the insides might actually be slower, but still give you an opportunity to get in there and rush a pass potentially. So we'll see how that shakes down. And this LCQ will get started in just a moment. 5 minutes plus a lap for our 2 last chance qualifiers. And then, of course, each moto is 20 minutes plus 1. So those motos will be a doozy. This track will break down, certainly. A couple sections on this track will get really deep. Talked about the slick traction that a lot of people were talking about in qualifying. Track crew swears it's a similar grippy tile, but I think we'll see some guys slipping and sliding, especially when the track breaks down. Got some of that chop that comes through the track. And maybe, just maybe, have some good battles from it as well. Get some guys out of their comfort zone just a little bit. All right, finally back in. Apologies for the delay. All right. Home race for Timmy Briscoe, says Cowan Fontes. So Timmy Briscoe, shout out, local native here to the Fort Worth area, allegedly. Not going to swear to that because we're not trying to dox him, but, could be from somewhere in Texas. All right. George starts straight. Going to be impactful to get off the gate first. And there is our man Timmy Briscoe, the MSK Suzuki. Rocking the number 309, One Industries. Pretty solid kit, not going to lie. Brogan McIntosh. Rogan's been fast through a couple rounds of the playoffs so far, but of course has to race his way in through the LCQ. And let's go racing tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway, Fort Worth, Texas. It's a warm, sunny day in Texas right now, and these guys are about to duel it out for the final 2 transfer spots into the motos. Everybody else, third on back, goes home early, so it is crucial. You got to get off the gate clean. And we're waiting on the 95 machine, which is Joey Arico having a little bit of problems getting in, waving the black flag at somebody. I don't know who's Sigma just got black flagged for some reason. But all right, here we go. We're loaded in. Joey Arico's going to line up right there next to the box. And I think we are ready to go. 250 last chance qualifier time here in Texas. 5 minutes plus 1 to go through. Here we go. We're off and running, and Arico times out immediately. I'm not sure if that was an issue with him or not, but Kyler Hockey gets to the corner first on the outside. Briscoe up the inside. Going to get the whole shot and early race lead. Arthur Miranda right there. Kyler Hockey, Elliott Person, Harrison Gafford as we all head into the Supercross triple here at the far end. And Briscoe goes for that defensive inside line. Arthur Miranda outside, so it's a couple MSK teammates. The team out of Brazil up front early on. Miranda goes for a ride. Exits stage right, loses 3 positions. The 240 machine was also down. That's Harrison Gafford as Sean Merwin moves up into the final transfer spot now. The Team Vulcan number 101 machine. Up and over the wall jump and split lanes. Now we get to see which option is the better. The inside was certainly the preferred option in real life, and it kind of looks like it worked out a little bit better, I think, for Sean Merwin there in comparison to the 84 ride of Elliott Person in the background. So it's still Briscoe leading, Merwin second right there behind him. Oh, that's a slide out though, and very lucky not to go down. Elliott Person does go down. He brings Kyler Hockey with him. I saw Rogan McIntosh. He slid through the inside line, and Person now gets going with Will Now, also making it through. So Miranda back into third, but our 2 leaders have skirted away from the field. And we'll see timing-wise how this kind of works out, because they're going to do lap times in the 120s, mid-120s, I would have to assume. And we're going to get to the flag stand at like 2:10. So then we'll get to 3:30, and we'll probably just get there before 5 minutes if everyone stays on 2 wheels to do a 5th lap. But we'll see. Timmy Briscoe going to bring us down just past the 2-minute mark. Triple is his way by the grandstands. And it's Briscoe and Merwin pulling away from the field. Nobody really all that close at the moment. But that doesn't mean that these two could maybe not have a mistake together. I mean, Merwin is right on his heels, keeping him close. I feel like you're already kind of seeing just how much these guys are being cautious, tiptoeing. Inside rollers, really tough to get into and out of as well. Both of them hug the inside there, and then Briscoe is going to go outside. Both of them actually go outside, and Merwin, a mistake, kind of misses the rut. McIntosh has made it into the 3 spot now. So Rogan McIntosh is on the prowl trying to get up there as Merwin almost jumps off the track. Here is McIntosh in P3, the number 35 Nexus Honda. Merwin is right there behind Timmy Briscoe. Up and over this triple. Ooh, mistake for Merwin. Gets hung up a little bit. All right, so now we get a better indication. These guys are going to check in at 3:27. So they've got to get back in 1 minute and 33 seconds or less to have an extra lap. So actually, this is probably going to go 6 laps. McIntosh is closing that gap down. Let's go on board, get a good perspective of what this track looks like from Rogan McIntosh's perspective. 121.8 last time by. Trying to close that gap down on Sean Merwin in P2. Different little option right there. McIntosh choosing to jump to that middle rut. I feel like he's got a little bit more speed in hand. He's starting to see these guys reel back into him very slowly, but it is happening. I think Merwin would like to go a little bit faster, but he's maybe just a bit hung up right now behind Timmy Briscoe. Briscoe's riding very well. Don't get me wrong, but if you're Merwin, you're like, please, just a little bit more. A little bit faster. As Briscoe kind of catches a rut a little bit awkwardly right there. Very careful through that inside and the off camber. 2, 3. 3 through that inside of the corner. Got to miss the pixie stick on the inside. And then up to the finish line jump. So these guys are just going to miss time by about 10 seconds. Wow. Doolies, meanwhile, over the finish line jump for the race lead. Oh, Doolies again. Merwin absolutely tossing it. Briscoe, let's see if he comes over. He is going to try to shut the door, and he's got it. So Briscoe to the far inside. Merwin being held up a little bit, and McIntosh is back there licking his chops, hoping that he can get up there and fight for it. Oh, mistake. Briscoe misses the inside run, and Merwin takes advantage. A slick move by the Vulcan ride. And now Sean Merwin has some free track to try to get away. And if you're Briscoe, now you actually have some breathing room, actually. McIntosh, either a mistake or went down. Not sure which of the ones it was. In case you guys were wondering, it is Timmy Briscoe's home race. Not sure if that's been mentioned a few times in chat or not. But, yep. Home race for Timmy Briscoe. But Merwin is in the lead, and he is going to take the white flag this time by time as well and truly expired. We're about 6 minutes in. Ooh, that's a bit wayward there for the Vulcan machine. Triples back onto the start. Both of them got that clean. And white flag in the air. Sean Merwin leads from Timmy Briscoe. Can anybody else get up here and affect the outcome at the front? As a lapper gets into the back of Sean Merwin. Not sure who that was. Oh, Merwin a slide out. And Briscoe down the inside trying to take the lead back away. Merwin fights back immediately, though, and holds position. So Merwin has a slight gap established here. And McIntosh is too far back. These guys have got this thing signed, sealed, and delivered. And if you're Briscoe, he might actually just back out of the challenge. He doesn't really need to do anything about Sean Merwin. But here we go. Merwin and Briscoe on their way to qualifying into the motos here tonight. Double in, triple again. Triple again through the inside. Double through the tunnel. And triples once more. Sean Merwin, the Vulcan ride, takes the last chance qualifier here in the 250 class. And Timmy Briscoe, his home race and all, is going through in Texas. McIntosh going home early, as is Harrison Gafford, Joey Arrico, ML Houle, Ryan Swanson, Wyatt Grant, Arthur Miranda, Gatlin Morrow, Tyler Shields, Will Now, Jacob Arnbrister, Elliot Person, Kyler Hockey, Jace Williams. Lot of guys calling it quits before this thing is done. But Sean Merwin ain't calling it quits yet, Sunshine. He is through and in. And I just saw your message, Holdseat. Let me see if I can quickly download the iSpec off-season pack, because I think I forgot. So I apologize. I'm going to try to do this really quickly, get them into my pack, and hopefully get back in the server. Tyler Mack says there's an echo. Is there? Apologies if there are. Awood's mic is off. It's literally just my mic. So not too sure what it would be, but if there's anything I can do, if you guys are actually hearing an echo, let me know. Try to shut it down and fix it up. And penalties are in. A little bit of cuts there for the 101 of Merwin. And actually, because of it, it gives Timmy Briscoe the win in the last chance qualifier. But they are still the only 2 riders that will go through. A-OK in the end. Briscoe takes the win. So he's all good there. Pop open the iSpec off-season pack. Drop it in the old personnel folder. Oops, excuse me. And we should be dialed now. So I'm going to disconnect and reconnect. Sorry, Hubbard. Sorry, I don't mean to make you work harder than you need to. We'll get back in, though. Double stream? Do I have a double stream going? Well, I have the YouTube and the Twitch stream open here, but both of them are muted on my side. Okay, you guys are saying there's no echo, so... Oh, you're telling Tyler Mack to check if there's a double stream. Okay, cool. No echo. We're good. Thank you, ePals, Reed, Pax, Yabubby, and Seek Tursky for all the help there. Buy WinRAR like LeBron did. Maybe we should do a poll. Should I do a poll? How many people own WinRAR? And then after we do the WinRAR poll, I'll ask how many people use 7-zip versus WinRAR, and we'll see which one wins. It'll be the battle royale of packaging. All right, 250 last chance qualifier done and dusted. 450 LCQ coming up next. And we will get you guys a lineup check right now, actually. Let me make sure our live timing is still working. It was down for me for just a second, but think we'll make it happen. There we go. Okay. Sometimes I just have Windows crash on me for some reason. But we're back. You are absolutely welcome, Mr. Jack Gatlin. I have enjoyed streaming for you guys this year. We got one more to go after this. Kind of crazy to think about. I hope we have an MXM of Nations. I would really love to call that, but no idea if that's coming together or not. But for those of you cross-game players, we are going to stream the AOMX MX Bikes Championship starting October 4th, I believe. So tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Some good racing. We caught a couple of those live streams last year for the boys over there at AOMX. They always do a good job with the off-season stuff, and we'll be over there doing some of the MX Bike streams. At least I'll do as many as I can until my son is born, and then I'll probably take a couple weeks off and come back towards the end of the year. But we'll get some bike streams in there. Hopefully we'll do a little bit of MX Sim of Nations. Maybe we'll... the plan is, too, when we get into late November, early December, we're going to do some amateur racing as well. Do some coverage of some little amateur Fall Cup action in Sim, some sort of amateur racing in MX Bikes as well, and stream those. Get some of you players that we don't always get to call the action of involved. That'll be a lot of fun. There is an MXSON on the day of IRL Vegas MXS. Interesting. Didn't call up 1-800-Kellen to stream it. I don't know what's going on. Do I have more viewers on Twitch or YouTube? I have, let's see, 76 on YouTube and 48 on Twitch. So YouTube is the answer to all of your problems. Season 5, episode 23. What does that mean? What does that mean, Marshmallow? I don't know what that means. Ooh, Merwin under investigation, allegedly, for making 3 passes off track. All right, so Sean Merwin, trouble in paradise. We are not announcing the name at the moment. we have our name picked out, but when he gets here, we'll let everyone know. So Sean Merwin under investigation. The MXS Battlegrounds crew, they've got their gavel ready. They're ready to lay the hammer out if needed. What is my least favorite cereal? Fantastic question, honestly. I haven't thought about it all day. So, least favorite cereal? I don't know, man. Like some sort of, I don't know. Most cereals are pretty good, to be fair. I like a decent amount of good cereals. I don't know. I'm going to have to, I'll stew on that. I'll think about it. And we'll come back, Ambrosia, after this LCQ and let you know our least favorite cereal. Hey, Air Athletics. Welcome back. Another Prime sub over here on Twitch. Thank you so much, Air Athletics. 3 months. Been subbed up for 3 months. Just absolutely subbed up in the house right now. All right. Here we go, folks. Time for the last chance qualifier for the 450 class. Xander Brion lined up just next to the box right there. We have got 13 riders going for 2 spots, and everyone else heads home early. It's the 450 LCQ from Texas, and it starts now. The gate is down. The 800 machine looking like Mike Alessi gets off to a good one. Into turn number 1, it's Aaron Rockefeller, but through the middle and out into the lead, Joseph Pilsner on his Nexus Honda takes over. So it's Pilsner, Xander Brion, Aaron Rockefeller up there. We got the 47 and Caden Speck getting crossed up and just put to the deck. Aaron Rockefeller in a little sideways on landing. So now it's Pilsner with a little bit of an advantage opening up over Brion, who doesn't get the triple in. And Rockefeller's peeking up the inside, but Brion triples over him, and then landing on Rockefeller's back is Seth Garrett on his Nexus Honda as well. Cocroft goes by, as does J.R. Reyes. There's Austin Schaefer, and Rockefeller now gets landed on by Schaefer. Xander Brion has gone by. Rockefeller just absolutely cracking his ankles twice on those doubles. Couldn't quite get all the way over him. Outside line to get by J.R. Reyes, and he has got it. Change for the lead. Xander Brion. Minecraft Honda out front on the 762. And Pilsner slots back to second, so now Rockefeller is going to try to bring J.R. Reyes with him to go get Joseph Pilsner. Right now, last week's Moto 1 winner, Tom Quino, is out looking in right now. P9, he has got to start working his way forward. Only 2. They only take 2. And as much as sometimes those battles for 4th are really good, I feel like the heightened tension of being 1st or 2nd in this race is even better. Ooh, Brion almost over the bars into the triple. Pulls it back together. Oh, Pilsner, a mistake, kind of slides out of the inside. Looks like J.R. Reyes got hung up in the background on the off-camber. Pilsner gets the 2-2. Brion's kind of hung up a little bit. Neither of them get that triple very clean. Rockefeller over Cocroft, Garrett, Speck, J.R. Reyes, and then Tom Quino, who won the opening moto last week in Charlotte, went from the LCQ and then went 1-9, I think, for 5th, if I remember right. And now he is maybe not even going to make it into the second round of the playoffs, as he tries to get to the inside to make a couple passes. He's going to get J.R. Reyes to the outside. Austin Schaefer also out there. And he's going to go defensive. No, actually goes to the outside. Reyes goes down. Look at this fight here. Caden Speck going through it right now with Cocroft. Seth Garrett also right in there as well. Cocroft is 4th. And then just up ahead of that, Rockefeller is catching up to Pilsner. That's going to be a good fight. All these guys are still so close together. Oh, Seth Garrett almost went for a ride. Landed on the throttle. The rear end kicked out. Now he gets into Speck, and Speck goes down. Quino went off the track. Back on now in 6th. All right, let's look at this fight for 2nd, man. Good gravy. Brion, Pilsner, and Rockefeller. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. Only 2 of them will go through. Rockefeller has been inching back into this battle. Pilsner tries to hop over Xander Brion. Not quite there just yet. Oh, Pilsner a little short. Here comes Rockefeller. Joseph Pilsner had a Case on that 353 triple. Dualies over the doubles. Pilsner crosses over in front of Rockefeller to defend, and he will do so. Rockefeller trying to triple his way through. Goes up this inside rut. And actually, Pilsner almost passed Brion for the lead, then slid out, gets into Rockefeller. They both stand it up, and coming through the middle, Seth Garrett tries to get in the mix. Now Pilsner shoots to the outside. Both of them swing way out there. Rockefeller, oh my gosh, Seth Garrett doubled that. Unbelievable. Trying to make this pass on Pilsner for second. And Quinault's just sitting back behind all three of these guys, hoping they get together and allow him in instead. Pilsner launches out to flat, and Garrett goes for a massive fishtail and yard sales. So now we're back to kind of status quo with our three leaders again. Brion, Pilsner, Rockefeller, Quinault up into fourth now. Getting closer. Oh, and down goes Rockefeller. Rockefeller went down in transition right there, and Cocroft is putting the heat on Quinault, who's up to third. Pilsner is still in the final transfer spot. Man, that fight for third is a good one. Look at that. Cocroft putting the heat on him. And our leader's down. Brion went down. The crowd reacts and sees the 7-6-2 go to the deck. That means Quinault is in to transfer. It's Pilsner, Quinault, the 90 of Cocroft peeking inside, but Quinault goes defensive. And then brake checks him, and Cocroft goes down. I don't think Quinault meant to do that on purpose. I think he just stood it up in the rut. But Cocroft, with nowhere to go, runs into the back of him. Xander Brion goes by. Quinault now has a slight gap established, but he still has a lap and a half to deal with this as Pilsner tries to pull away in the lead. So it's Pilsner through the first turn complex, and then Tom Quinault. There's a little bit get nervous time there for Tom Quinault, and it's not over yet. Brion can still get up there and ruffle some feathers in these final laps. As Quinault are lapping Austin Schaefer here. Tough night for Austin Schaefer. Not how you want to see it go for the 36 ride on the Impact TSCZ program. And Tom Quinault trying to get around Schaefer now to lap him is going to deal with some heat from Xander Brion before long. White flag is waving. Quinault has a bit of a gap here. Can he hold it? Oh, he gets taken out by Schaefer. Schaefer hooks a right on the wall jump and takes Tom Quinault out. And Austin Schaefer, I think, immediately got the boot. Well, he disconnected. He did not get black flagged. And now how does Battlegrounds rule this? Because that is a incident out of the control of Quinault. I mean, nothing he could have done there. And you hate to see it decided like that. But Brion does get into the final transfer spot, at least for now. Unless something else happens. Up and over the double. Pilsner has a gap established still. And then, Cocroft has also gotten around Quinault. So Quinault went down again. Oh, no. So then how do you handle this situation, too? Because now it appears that Quinault kind of blew it himself. But it all stems from that incident with Schaefer. I don't know. I do not want to be on the judging committee for this one. Either way, Joseph Pilsner is going to survive and win this last chance qualifier. Joseph Pilsner takes the dub. Brion takes second. And that will be those two going through unless something happens to allow Tom Quinault in as well. He's just trying to hang on for fourth, but goes down again. Nick Niles. Oh, and Quinault immediately disconnects. So, yeah, they're saying they're not sure if Schaefer's going to be there next week, but top two are in for sure. I'm not sure what they'll do about Quinault, but Quinault might have called it a night anyway. It is pretty late in France, or early, depending on how you look at it, so interesting scenario playing out in front of us. We got some updates on the review committee, though. So Sean Merwin was docked 2 positions for making passes off track. Let's see what this looked like real quick if we can. 48 on Twitch. So he jumped to the inside of the pixie stick, and yeah, let's see. Past. So he's alongside the 240, and there's 3 guys in this corner. The 130 machine, 84, and he passes 3 of them by jumping off track and going into second. So apparently that is enough to get him docked 2 positions. Sean Merwin will not be going through to the motos. And thank you, Luke Sheff, for keeping us up to date on that stuff as well. Great to have little replays in here, right? Let us know what's going on. But yeah, LCQ's done. Let's get into the real stuff, shall we? 250 Moto 1 coming up next. Alrighty, folks, it is just about go time for the first 250 SMX Moto here at round 2 of the MX Simulator playoffs. And Colby Eaglin, of course, leading in the 450s, but Seth Carr, dominant opening round at Charlotte last week, trying to keep the ball rolling this week in the 250 class. Certainly has been rather unstoppable in a 250 setting of late. So damn good indoors and out. But can someone else get up there and ruffle the feathers? We will see here in Moto 1 of the 250 SMX class at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's give you guys a rundown who's going to the gate here in 250 Moto number 1. Colin Holden, Race Cobble, Emmanuel Cepeda, Jack Gatlin, Dylan Dallaire, Rogan McIntosh, Braden Tharp, Timmy Briscoe, Hayden Stevenson, Evan Holt, Ben Nerona, let's see, Austin Parlow, John Heilman, Jeff Cooper, Alec Horn, Dylan Dallaire, Lucas Brune, Tyler Shoey. Been told it's pronounced Shovey. There's no V in his name, so we're not running that. Jack Gatland, Seth Carr, of course, as well. Evan Vanderkoy qualified well tonight. He looking to do some damage on the 86 Nexus ride. All right, so we have official word coming in as well that Tom Quinault will also make it in, as he was punted by Schaefer in a quali spot. So they've alerted Quinault that he will be racing, I guess, in the 450 motos. I don't know if they're going to back row him or what, but he is going to be in. So Quinault going to be out there. Going to be pretty interesting if he can back row and still win the first moto like he did last week. That'll be something else. All right, let's give you guys our pick for the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot Award this week in the 250 class. Head over to thedesignlabco.com. Our guy Nick Porter over there putting in some quality graphic work every single week, and you guys can get some custom sets, your semi-custom sets. Either way, just go check him out and support the people who support us. Big thanks to him for being on board with the broadcast all season long. Our Design Lab Co. Whole Shot pick. Not sure who it's going to be, but I am going to pick. It's tough to bet against Carr. I always like going with Tharp. I like this kit that Jack Gatlin's running. That's pretty good. But I'm going to go with my guy Ev Moof. I got a hunch. P3 rolling into tonight. Good gate pick. I think that this man on that Nexus Honda gets off the gate well, and we'll see what he is able to accomplish. So Ev Moof, our pick for the Design Lab Co. Whole Shot Award. Rasmus Balzer, all red. I mean, literally all red. You couldn't get any more red on that kit if you wanted to. Going to try to take down Seth Carr. They're all going to try to take down Seth Carr here in 250 Moto 1 of the MX Simulator Playoffs. Round 2, double points on offer here in Texas. And 20 minutes plus a lap ready to send these guys off into turn number 1. 250 Moto 1 will quickly be followed by 450 Moto 1. Here we go, folks. 30 card is up. 30 card is sideways. We're looking down the inside to see who's going to get off the gate first. It's 250 Moto 1 in the playoffs. We're off and running. A lot of guys actually jumped the gate, so we got a red flag. We have got a red flag situation. Not sure what happened, but they called it early, so red flag is out. Server commands coming down for something. But a red flag is out. So we will wait and see what exactly happened. Evan Holt got off to a good jump right there. And now we are loading back in. I think that this will be the moto. So now we can call it for good. Buckle up, people. Grab your favorite beverage and a good snack because this is going to be 20 minutes plus one lap that you do not want to miss. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to Start Your Systems TV to catch the action around 2 of the playoffs. Now what is going to happen? Here we go. They're loaded back in. They are ready to go. Oh, yeah. Lurch brings us in. It's 250 Moto 1 to the playoffs. We're off and running in Texas Motor Speedway. A couple guys almost loop out. I saw the car didn't get off the gate too well, but he's going to sneak up the inside and end pretty well. It's Hayden Stevenson with the Design Lab Co. hole shot. Partillo's up there. Oh, he takes his teammate Carr out. Carr down in third. Balzer in second place early on, off with a good start. Gets away scot-free. So it's Stevenson leading the way from Balzer, Holtze, Cepeda, Wilczek, Jack Mark all up here. Carr didn't fall off the bike. He's in about 10th. As Stevenson tries to run away with this thing on the opening lap. Holtze with a good start, putting the heat on Balzer. And lap 1 coming down in the books. Stevenson, Balzer, Holtze, Cepeda, Wilczek, the top 5. Seth Carr is already up into 7th, so this is crucial for some of these guys out front to lay it down and get away. Look at everyone going outside through the rollers here. Interesting to see this so early on, but everyone leaving the door wide open there. Inside line not being used there, but it will be used in this corner. Balzer goes for the second run, as does Holtze. Then they both switch back to the outside, lay it into that corner, and Holtze just slides out and absolutely dives into the next lane. That's a tough break for the man out of Canada. Going backwards now. The I-Spec rider out of the top 10, but the fight for the lead is on. Balzer wants a slice of Hayden Stevenson out front. The 250 East champ has come to play. Around the outside, turns to the inside in the tunnel jump. Side by side, they touch! Balzer's down, but not off the bike. Very lucky. I do not know how he doesn't fall off right there, but Stevenson gets away with the lead for the time being. Fight for third going on. Holden dealing with the heat. Alec Horn, Lucas Brune right in there. Outside versus inside options. Holden triples in, comes up a bit short, and going to lose 2 spots because of it. Lucas Brune down the inside trying to get the pass done as well. Holden fights back. He's in 4th. So Horn now into 3rd, Holden 4th. And Brune rounds out the top 5. Timmy Briscoe from the LCQ is 6th. Heilman 7th. Wilczek 8th. Partillo 9th. Holtze drops back to 10th. Cooper 11th. And then our championship leader, Carr, is in 12th. Tough start for the number 15 ride. And we got a change for the lead out front. Balzer has taken it over. Stevenson must have had a mistake. So Rasmus Balzer out front here in Texas. And this is going to be interesting in the championship hunt because, again, the double points on offer tonight. Seth Carr has got to do some serious work to get his way to the front. Here he is off track, actually losing a couple more spots. And then Holtze lays it back down. Carr goes up the inside trying to make a couple passes. We got guys launching over him, crossing over, almost gets into the back of him. The 27 ride is trying to force a nose in there. Man, he's getting kind of thrown around a little bit back here. This is not easy in the slightest for him in 11th, and Jeff Cooper down on the inside allows Carr up into the top 10 once again. So Holtze goes to the inside of Partolo, and there is Carr 2, 3, 3, and 3. Just in there behind Holtze. Holtze squares up Partolo, trying to get the pass done. And Partolo goes down, takes Holtze with him. And Briscoe was down as well. Ooh, this is going to cause a stack up. A lot of guys getting into this back Partolo. Going down the straightaway. Look at how many guys are still jockeying for positions back here. Let's peek back out front, though, because Balzer has got himself a 4-second lead, and he went 1:19.8 last time by. That is big. Laying it down at the front. And we knew that this Rasmus Balzer was in there, the all-time stock track hero, most records on all the stock tracks, and of course the two-time 250 East champion now. Didn't see him outdoors, but comes back for SMX, and we figured somewhere in there would be the old Rasmus Balzer. Here he is, trying to pull away at the front. Stevenson losing touch with him. 5 seconds back, but a comfortable second. 5 seconds up on Alec Horn still. There's Horn, Colin Holden, Lucas Brune, John Heilman, and Seth Carr. Let's go on board with the championship leader. Triples to this inside. You're starting to see everybody really trying to get to that inside line and make it work. And that is Heilman not able to get the triple onto the start straight, so Carr takes full advantage and leapfrogs by him into 6th. 1:18.3 last time by. That's the new fastest lap of the race. Quite a bit faster than what Balzer put down last time by, too. So don't look now, but Seth Carr is going to find a way to figure this out, I think, if he keeps the ball rolling. Balzer, Stevenson, Horn, Holden, Brune, and Carr. Top 6 right now. You're on board with Seth Carr. Closing up on a fight for 3rd place. 4 riders basically in formation here. That is Lucas Brune right in front of him. And down goes Alec Horn out of 3rd. So they pass him. He was down in those tough blocks. Carr dancing around on corner exit right there. A few guys still going outside and getting that triple. And then tripling over the pixie stick. I don't know how much faster it is, though. I feel like Brune was in the same position coming into the corner as he was once Carr did all that hard work on the outside. 1:19.9 follows it right back up next time by with another good lap. But 1:19.7 for Balzer out front, and Carr almost got into the back of Lucas Brune. This is so weird. Everybody going outside. I don't get it. What happened? Everybody in the LCQs is going inside. Pablo Vial's hot laps are all going to the inside. Now outside's the meta. I don't get it, but I guess they're just trying to build that outside run up and make it work for them. As Carr gets around Lucas Brune, he's now up into 4th. Colin Holden gonna deal with some heat in 3rd before long, and he would like to close up on Hayden Stevenson. Little slide out right there on landing, and Carr thought about it, but ultimately backed out of the challenge. Into the tunnel jump and down the backside. Roller double triple. Inside move. Seth Carr tries to take over 3rd place. Crossed over quite a few lines and might fall the way of Lucas Brune because of it. Nope. Right back in line. Whoa, Brune going for a ride. What a save for the 43 machine on the TSCZ Impact Triumph. Seven minutes, 45 seconds have come and gone. We're looking at just over 12 minutes and a lap still to go. And all eyes are on Seth Carr's charge through the field. Colin Holden, Holden down, P3 on the racetrack. And going defensive, I feel like I'm watching him change up some of his lines a little bit to make sure Carr stays behind him. Oh, blocks Seth Carr by hitting the inside SpongeBob, and then Carr gets hung up, still hung up, and after all of that, Holden and Brune still end up in front of Carr. Carr never actually fell off the bike there, and he still ends up behind Holden. Now I look like, oh, Holden got absolutely destroyed by Lucas Brune. We talked about those inside lines, and look at Carr square off Brune, try to go for his front wheel, leaping over Lucas Brune. Alec Horn almost gets into him. Holy smokes, Brune absolutely murdered Colin Holden. We talked about it in the pre-show about those inside lines and how many of them kind of cross over into the outside lines. So now Carr in third place, but 21 seconds off the lead, trying to keep Lucas Brune at bay. And then you got Alec Horn also right there getting back into the mix after his crash. There's Holtzy as well. A couple guys that were down early on in this one, Alec Horn and Evan Holt. Now 5th and 6th on the racetrack, trying to close back up onto Lucas Brune. Brune holding down P4. Still Balzer leading by 12 seconds over Hayden Stevenson, then another 8 back to Seth Carr. So Carr will definitely need some help to get further than P3 as Alec Horn goes for a bit of a ride. Yeah, Holtzy, Colin Holden picked himself up from that crash. Now 7th, 8th for Jack Gatland. 9th for John Heilman, and Evmove rounds out the top 10, but not anymore as he goes down. The 41 of Tyler Show goes by. All right, let's figure this out with our leader situation. Balzer out front, going to check in at the halfway point. Cross signs, cross flags, if that's what you call them. About to go out for our leader, Balzer, underneath the tunnel jump and through. Triples across. And there we go over the finish line jump. Cross flags out. Stevenson launching over some lap traffic there. And then Carr, almost jumping into the pixie stick. So Carr's starting to wind it up a little bit. I think this is about to be one of his better laps. Let's see. 1:19.1, so just about 0.8 off of his personal best. But crucially, 4 seconds faster than Balzer and almost 3 seconds faster than Hayden Stevenson. So if your car, all you can do at this point in the second half of this moto is just chip away and hope that you maybe start closing those gaps down. I think you'll get to Stevenson pretty soon here based on how much time he's continuing to gain. Stevenson just riding his own race. Not a bad moto at all for the 12. But there's only so much you can do when someone like Seth Carr is trying to close up on you. I just feel like every time we look, the gap has come down just that much more. Under 2 seconds between Stevenson now and Seth Carr. Carr nails the triple to the inside. And, a little short on that triple right there. Nice save. Kind of just taps the landing and powers down. All right, it's battle time for P2 on the racetrack. Look at that. Stevenson and Seth Carr, 13 seconds off the lead. And, looks like Carr, just made a mistake. So Stevenson gets a bit of a gap. Lucas Brune's hung tough with these guys as well. He's only about 6 seconds behind Seth Carr. 1:22.1 last time by, and a gap behind him back to Evan Holt. Evan Holt and Colin Holden are debating 5th place right now. This is Holtzy on the 13 iSpec Husqvarna. And look at Holden trying to leap over him. Not quite there just yet. Colin Holden on the number 50 Phil Ski and Snowboard Yamaha. Over the tunnel jump and down. Outside line here, trying at least, is Colin Holden triples in, triples again, but off the track. Holtzy able to defend on the inside, even though he kind of missed the rhythm, but able to stay with the defensive lines. And who's that down? That is Brune. Lucas Brune down out of 4th. So Holtzy takes over the 4th position, and Holden is still working on him, trying to get into 4th place for himself. And Brune's going to pick it up right behind them. Heilman also kind of lurking in the background still. Inside move for Holden. Holtzy crosses over, and Holden gets the spot. I think Holtzy knew forcing the issue there was going to result in both of them going down, so he elected out of it. Oh my goodness! How did Holtzy not get taken out as Holden slid out and crossed back over Holtzy? I mean, by the skin of his teeth. Just went underneath him by just greasing that inside rut. That was gnarly. And a lucky save in the end by Holtzy to not get taken down. So now Holt has a pretty comfortable 4th over Brune. I hear the crowd reacting. Did Balzer just crash? I think he maybe did. Balzer picking it up from a crash now, just has a 6-second lead. Stevenson and Seth Carr still debating 2nd place. Carr has reeled him in twice now, but has yet to make a pass on the number 12 Yogi Nexus Honda. Let's see what happens this time. 5 minutes plus a lap left to go in this race, and Carr trying to get into 2nd place. Still has a shot at winning this thing if Balzer can not hold on at the front. Look at the speed for Seth Carr to the outside to make that pass. It was maybe not going to happen with Stevenson getting the inside clean. He was a little bit out of shape, but still the speed that Carr carried into that corner, full commitment to make that pass, and now he is up into 2nd place. So he also now has clear racetrack to try to run down Balzer, and this could get good. Probably 4 laps to go, maybe 5. I mean, well, no, definitely 4 or less, maybe 3, I should say. But 4 laps to go, probably this time by, as Balzer cuts through the tunnel and checks in the race lead onto lap number 13. Now that Carr has got clean air, what can he do? This time by, it was a 1:19.49, and that was even passing Hayden Stevenson. 4.8 seconds the gap. Balzer is going to start shaking in his jorts a little bit here, seeing that gap come down. Or maybe he has his pit board all blacked out and he can't see the gaps at all, but going to be a little bit nervous hearing a bike closing up on him. Oh, and Balzer's down! Balzer down in the lead! The crowd reacts, and there goes Seth Carr through. It was a lapper in the end. Jeff Cooper was down, and Balzer hit him, and that changes the lead. Seth Carr is out front. So Seth Carr into the lead with 3.5 minutes and a lap left to go in this moto. And he is not one that often gives up the lead. So Balzer, he's got to do the heavy lifting that we thought Carr was going to have to do. He's got to try to catch up from 3 seconds back. Stevenson is still there lurking as well, just in case things get a little bit weird as Carr triples in to the finish line area. He's got 3 minutes on the clock. He's probably, yeah, at this rate, going to get 2 more laps in and then the white flag. Are hopping through the outside bumps, and you can see that one main rut just really wore in on the outside, man. Everyone was going out there, and that rut just dug in. So now actually another thing Carr has to deal with is he's going to be hitting the lappers first and trying to get through a couple guys right now. I think that was, I don't know who that was actually. Who's he about to lap next? Timmy Briscoe. So that must have been Dylan Delaire. Ooh, see right there. Briscoe almost went down into him, and we've lost Balzer from second now. Stevenson has gotten by as well. So Stevenson gets around Balzer, and it's 9 seconds now for Carr. Brune and Holtzy still 4th and 5th. Here's Alec Horn in 6th. It's also been a pretty quiet moto for him. Haven't talked much about him, but he's just been hanging out inside the top 10. Finally got into a good position here in 6th. And he's going to try his hardest to close down into a top 5 late. Tyler Show in 7th. John Heilman, an 8th place run at the moment. Jack Gatlin trying to get closer to him on the Unity KTM. And then Ben Nerona rounding out our top 10. So we got a handful of Phil's riders mixing it up this time. Got the Yogi Boys, Nexus, iSpec, CBR, District, Panini. A lot of different teams. And honestly, I like that. I like when we have a lot of variance at the front of the field. Makes for a little bit more interesting dynamic of the races, I feel like, just to have not all the same team at the front, because then you just know one team kind of monopolizing the market, gathering all the top guys. Fun story. Panini Motorsports is sandwiching the whole field right now. The leader is Seth Carr, and dead last is Braden Tharp out of this race. In fact, dead last and second to last are both Panini riders, as Partillo and Tharp are both out of the moto. So they're taking these Panini sandwiches very literally. The entire middle of the pack is a Panini sandwich because Panini riders are on either side of the field. And Carr is going to miss the clock by, 8 seconds or so. Could have just slowed down, man. Just let the time hit. 2 laps to go here in Texas. And Seth Carr is back to his old self. And Stevenson down out of second. Honestly, I love the crowd reacting to this stuff because I can finally tell what's going on. But Stevenson crashes in P2. It's a 21-second lead now for Carr. Now Balzer is going to try to close this gap down with 2 laps to go. Stevenson's done a pretty good job of just hanging in here. That triple onto the start straight, the kryptonite for many 250 riders, though. They keep trying to go for it, even as that rut before it gets a little bit chewed up. And it's starting to bite them pretty frequently. So I wonder if you're Stevenson here, next time by you just crashed on that jump. Maybe you double it, double single. We shall see, but the white flag is about to wave for this gentleman out front, just doubling his way through the rhythms. Trying his best Hayden Deegan impression at this point, honestly. Is he going to go perfect in SMX? White flag in the air, 250 Moto 1 here in Texas. Balzer is inching back up again to the rear fender of Stevenson, so let's see what happens here on this final lap. And I want to go on board with him just to kind of see how much this track chewed up in one 20-minute session. Scrub-a-dub-dub, scrub-a-dub-a-dub again. And this is going to be a good fight for second here on this final lap. It could be crucial for the overall because either one of these guys could end up winning the second moto, and if they beat each other, that's critical for overall standing as well. Balzer is there trying to put the heat on Stevenson, and Stevenson goes for a bit of a ride, little fishtail through there. Look at this, Balzer trying to square the corner off. Oh, he wanted him. Oh, they're together, and Stevenson's off the bike. Balzer is going to stay on 2 wheels and get away scot-free. So that'll be his position for the taking. Meanwhile, final couple of corners here for this man, Seth Carr. Nothing can be said that hasn't already been said about this guy. He's been relentless on a 250 in the second half of 2024, and he's going to keep the perfect SMX streak a-rolling. A 1-1 performance in Charlotte, and Moto 1 here in Fort Worth goes to Seth Carr. Balzer and Stevenson fighting for P2 all the way to the checkered flag. It looks like it's going to be Balzer. And let's see if my daughter has anything to say about that.
Don't know what to
Say whatever you want to say.
I took it
Put
up.
it back on. Here you go.
I don't know what I want to say.
Nothing fun tonight to say to us.
Mm. I like candy.
You want candy?
I like candy.
Oh, you like candy?
I like to eat it.
Me too. Candy's
And,
good.
and I like to eat apples with chocolate on the apples and sprinkles on the apple for breakfast.
Yeah, that is your favorite breakfast, huh? Chocolate-covered apples?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sprinkles on it.
Lucky kiddo. Good night. They did. Everyone heard it. All right, my daughter checking in on the broadcast. Seth Carr takes the win in Moto 1. Balzer, Stevenson, Brune, Holt, Horn, Show, Heilman, Gatlin, and Wilczek was the top 10. In fact, actually, it was not because a lot just changed. So Carr took the win still. Stevenson drops to 4th behind Brune. Holtzy drops from 5th to 6th behind Horn. And then, whoa, Wilczek ended up 12th after cuts. He was 10th across the line. Cepeda ends up top 10. Nerona. Hobble was 13th, ends up 14th. There's so many cuts. Good lord, you guys are dirty, filthy, rotten cheaters. Vanderkoy ends up 13th. Holden 15th. McIntosh 16th. Briscoe 17th. Dallaire 18th. Your room. No, I put him back, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, can we bring my daughter in full-time as co-host? One day, honestly. I hope call the action someday. And honestly, like, kind of freaks me out already a little bit that she's pretty good at Minecraft these days. And we're building her towards being the first ever female MX Bikes champion. We'll get there when it's time. All right. Enough fun and games. Let's get back to the real action here. Round 2 of the playoffs, I should say, from Texas Motor Speedway 450 Moto 1 coming up. Take you through who's going to the line here in the 450 class in Texas. Blake O'Brien, Xander Brion, Jacob Hubbard, Ethan Parks, Luke Sullivan, Colby Eaglin, Braden Castellaneta, Pablo Vial, our fastest qualifier, Brandon Larson, Devin Davis, Seth Shirley, Jeremy Siebold, Caleb Hall, Joseph Pilsner, Killian Ortiz, Bryce Whelan, Tyler Lang, Tanner Rogers, Frank Jackson, Bodie Parker, Braden Carter, and Tom Quino. I don't know who isn't here that Quino got in over, but Quino is in after going through hell and back with Austin Schaefer giving him the punt. I think after this moto, I'm going to have to go get a Red Bull. All right, let's go ahead and pick ourselves a Design Lab Co. whole shot winner from this one. TheDesignLabCo.com is where you want to head over for all your graphics needs, whether you need full or semi-custom graphics for your bikes. They have got it dialed in for you over there. Buddy Nick Porter putting the work in. And yeah, let's see what happens here in this one. Jacob Hubbard is who Saru believes is going to get the whole shot. He said short start's going to be a little bit tougher, but he believes in himself. And I know one thing, Hubbard is really damn good off the line. And wow, I don't have T-Lane skins. I don't know what the heck is going on with Takatoji at the moment. But missing some skins, that's a tough break for me. Hanging L in the chat. See if Hubbard gets the whole shot, though. I'll go ahead and pick him just because I want to see it. He's really good off the line. But it just takes one person slightly out jumping him, and they'll get the whole shot because these start straights are so short. Let's find out, shall we? 450 Moto 1 here in Texas. Round 2 of the SMX play, or the MXS playoffs, I should say, MX Simulator playoffs to wrap up our season. Race number 30 of the year in MX Simulator. We have been cooking this season and obviously did 9 rounds of GPs. This is my 39th broadcast of the year. Look at me go. get us loaded in and get us ready to drop the gate here in 450 moto number 1. Hopefully I don't miss any of the action. Please load bikes. What's going on? Track script done. There we go. Okay, loaded in. 30 card is sideways. We got someone back road. It's time to drop the gate. Round 2 of the playoffs. Here we go. Not the best jump for Hubbard, but he still controls it to the inside. Shirley's trying to poke a nose in there, but it is Jacob Hubbard ripping the Design Lab Co. Whole shot. Got Blake O'Brien up there in the mix. A lot of guys going down in turn 2. Seth Shirley to the lead over the tunnel jump, and he's got it. The 44 machine out front here in Texas. It's Shirley, Hubbard, O'Brien, Parker, Bendis the top 5. Frank Jackson, Vial 7th right now. Braden Carter is in 12th. Sully, our winner last week, P20. Tough start for him. And the 24, our red plate holder, 17th is Colby Eagland as Seth Shirley comes across the line to lead lap number 1. It's Shirley, Hubbard, O'Brien side by side with Bodie Parker moving up into the mix at 32. Yogi Honda also having a good start to his evening. And everyone just trying to get some early positioning and not have to deal with any pressure from behind as someone goes pirouetting down that straightaway. That may have been Frank Jackson. Big crash for him through the rollers. Hubbard in and out of the tough blocks there for a moment. O'Brien putting the heat on. O'Brien's been getting some good starts of late, man. The Elite Decals 167 Triumph. Change for the lead, perhaps. Inside move for Hubbard. Shirley totally folded up and blew it and crashed even, I think, in the top of that corner. He went through the tough blocks and then slid out in the next corner. Drops all the way back to 4th. It's Hubbard now out front here in Texas. All these guys starting to funnel to this outside to avoid that inside roller. O'Brien in and out of the tough blocks as well. A little bit long on the tunnel jump, and Bodie Parker long as well. We have got a lot of faces that were not at the front last week out front this time. And this sets us up for one hell of an interesting night with the championship pictures in play. No Luke Sullivan up here. Braden Carter still struggling. 16th place for him. Still just 12th for Colby Eagland, the championship leader. This is a golden opportunity for a lot of riders as Hubbard leads at the end of lap number 2. And the partisan crowd here in Texas cheering Hubbard on as he triples into the rollers. And here comes Bodie Parker to the inside of Blake O'Brien. Let's see if he can make this line work. Hubbard goes over that rut. O'Brien's got a pretty good run, actually. Closing up on Hubbard instead. Oh, Hubbard off the track, and O'Brien takes over the lead. Hubbard swaps into the next corner, regains 3rd position, but it's Blake O'Brien out front in Texas. A little bit wide in that corner. Parker showed a wheel. Man, this is going to be a really good race. This is stacking up to be a good one with so many of the top guys coming from further back. And O'Brien leading this thing. Leaves the door open. Parker goes inside. Let's see if this line works. It does not. Shirley also tried it on Hubbard for 3rd. Didn't quite get it. And we got 4 riders nose to tail. 4 different manufacturers as well. Triumph leads the way right now with a Honda 2nd, Yamaha 3rd, KTM 4th. Parker almost into the rear fender of O'Brien as Hubbard triples in the background, trying to go 3-3-2 around this corner. Not quite close enough. Here's Shirley trying to get Hubbard. Not close enough yet either. Hubbard lands in the tough blocks, and Shirley's going to pull alongside over the finish line jump. Doolies for 3rd place. Doolies again, back to back. Love to see it. Miss our guy A-Wood not in the studio with us to call the action tonight, as Shirley hops his way trying to get into 3rd place as Parker tries to take the lead away from O'Brien, who hops back over him and holds the position. Then goes defensive inside, blows the corner, and to the lead goes Bodie Parker. The Yogi Honda out front. And Hubbard still just dealing with the heat from Seth Shirley in the background. 4 riders nose to tail there. As Vial lights up the screens, goes purple. Fastest lap of the race in P6. O'Brien stands it up, misses the corner, loses 2 positions. There goes Hubbard and Shirley by into 2nd and 3rd. So O'Brien led for a lap. Now has to do a bit of the chasing as Bodie Parker takes his turn out front. And this has been a good race so far, man. All these guys going at it. Colby Eagland update has made it into 8th. Luke Sullivan now 12th. Braden Carter 18th. Still doolies. O'Brien trying to get to the inside of Shirley for 3rd. Might get this pass done. Shirley's trying to triple back by him. and just barely makes that pass happen. If O'Brien got it a little bit cleaner, he would for sure have gotten by him. So now they'll reset a little bit as it's Bodie Parker still leading the way. And Vial went down. He's back to 11th now. This is crazy how this is turning out right now because so many of the top guys are struggling. And I don't know if it's the racetrack or a bad start, tough to pass, forcing the issue. It is a bit slippery. But it seems like these leaders are doing a good job of keeping their neck clean a little bit. Not getting hung up by any of the chaos. And now it's Seth Shirley's time to try to close up on Hubbard a little bit. Scrubbing out to flat, just a little long there for Shirley as Quest close up on Hubbard. Keen to see lap times this time by because these guys have been matching each other really closely. Parker still leads this thing, but I feel like Hubbard has just been pretty much doing the exact same lap times as him. And Shirley maybe just slightly faster. Barely, though. Just barely. Both of them tucked to this inside. Shirley a little short right there. Going to lose some time. And let's get our lap time check. So Bodie Parker comes down. He'll check in out front. 120.1, 120.3 Hubbard, 120.3 Shirley, 120 flat. Noah Bindis has made his way around Blake O'Brien, giving him the Bindis off that double jump right there as well. And he's up to 4th. He qualified really well tonight, kind of sneakily so, and might be in for a little bit of a factor here. Still is rocking, I think, his new national number, the number 22 Carlos Crew Honda. But we know him as the lovable number 93 of Noah Bindis. O'Brien just kind of funneling in behind him now, just trying to stay close. But I feel like this is still a really good ride for Blake O'Brien. Can't shy away from that at all. And look at this. Quinault, from not even making it out of the LCQ, is a factor to maybe win this damn moto again and go back-to-back first moto victories. And here is our championship leader, Colby Eaglin. We have not seen him once yet this moto as he slides out. Just kind of teeters through the mechanics area right there. But Eaglin is the best of kind of the top guys right now. I guess we could consider Shirley up there in points a little bit as well, but he raced so much 250 Supercross, he didn't enter well in the seeding. Eaglin did obviously enter as the 1 seed, still leads the championship. And then Luke Sullivan finally moving into 8th place behind him. This is last week's winner at Charlotte. Finally, we're starting to see a couple of the faces that were battling for the win last week getting up in the mix, and we'll see if they can keep marching their way forward. We are still 12 minutes plus a lap from the end of this thing. And Hubbard's hanging tough in second, but a 1:19.9 that time by Bodie Parker just ran his personal best out front. Inch this thing away over 3 seconds now a little bit, so finally some separation in the lead group. As Braden Carter in 14th just went 1:19.4 for the fastest lap of the race. As he lights up the timesheets back there. Pablo Vial, our fastest qualifier, still 11th. Bodie Parker down with the lead. Front end tuck and immediately down. Hubbard back to the lead. Shirley to second. And Parker picks it up before Quinault gets there. It's Quinault now 4th in front of O'Brien. There's Eaglin. Eaglin also got around Bindis, who went down. And there's 4 riders pretty much nose to tail here. 3 riders pretty much nose to tail out front. And it is lap 6, and Jacob Hubbard is in the lead, ladies and gentlefish. All his buddies know what that means. And I'm sure Max Bullen watching at home is holding his breath as Hubbard tire taps the 353. He's made it onto, well, it's actually 6 laps complete, onto lap number 8 now. And Hubbard versus Shirley for the lead down this back straightaway. Hubbard's going to go to the right side, the left side of the split lane, right side of our screen. Shirley's trying to use this inside, but Hubbard carrying that momentum from the outside. It's a better line into this corner as well, and still elected to go inside. Interesting, but I guess just defensive riding over Hubbard. So Hubbard and Shirley. Oh, Hubbard! Down sideways off the track. He slid for a country mile, and Shirley takes over the lead. So it's actually lap 8 this week that bites Jacob Hubbard, and now Seth Shirley's out front. So this is a golden opportunity if you're Seth Shirley. But I got to tell you, man, Colby Eaglin is fighting for all it's worth right now. He has made it all the way into 4th place. He's right behind Tom Quinault. And we have talked about Colby Eaglin, I feel like, so little in the playoffs so far because he keeps getting bad starts. But he's always there by the end of the moto. And we're not even halfway into this thing. He's in 4th, right behind Quinault, just ahead of O'Brien and Bodie Parker. And if he keeps this march going, could get himself up into a podium ride in this moto, set himself up really well for some good points. As down goes Quinault out of 3rd place. Big fall off for the Frenchman. Takes O'Brien with him. It's the worst spot ever for a crash, too. All these guys just have nowhere to go when they triple. O'Brien, the only casualty from that. He'll slide back to 6th place. But Eaglin now up into 3rd, just ahead of Bodie Parker. There's Pablo Vial finally showing his face a little bit further up the top 10. 7th place for him. The fastest qualifier, 120.3 last time by. And we have lost Luke Sullivan. Ethan Parks has made it into the 8th spot now. Just got around Braden Castellaneta. Castellaneta side by side with Parks, still battling it out with him. Good to see a little Heckman Productions SYS Racing action up there. Castellaneta goes down. Caleb Hall goes through on the 16. And look at this gaggle of riders. D. Davis, Braden Carter squeaks by on Belars, his teammate. And Carter looks like he is fired up right now, pissed off at his current situation. So Devin Davis holding on to 10th right now, but Carter is riding like a bat out of hell trying to get by him. Just put his teammate down back there in 12th. And D. Davis goes for a ride. Carter takes advantage, goes up into 10th. And then Luke Sullivan is also trying to squeak in there. Ooh, that was real nip and tuck with a couple of those guys. D. Davis had to roll the tunnel. Sully gets 2 spots for the price of 1. Goes by BAC, Braden Castellaneta as well. And back into 12th. So Sully, after winning last week, not having the ride he wanted to have. But again, silver lining, neither is Braden Carter. Neither are a lot of guys that were in the mix to start last week off. Except maybe, I guess, Eaglin and Shirley. And things are going swimmingly for Seth Shirley out front. 8 minutes and a lap left to go for number 44, Providence KTM. Shirley just minding his own business, doing his own laps. Meanwhile, Jacob Hubbard is going to feel the heat, and it comes in the form of that red-hot red plate of Colby Eaglin trying to get into 2nd place. I mean, this is just so quietly impressive. And can you imagine, I mean, Eaglin ultimately did not really end up in either the Supercross or Motocross title fights. Hung on pretty long outdoors, and honestly in Supercross was there for a while, but Carter was just on another level. But Eaglin was eliminated from championship contention around early in Motocross, and I believe at least around early in Supercross as well. But because he had the most points combined entering the MX Simulator playoffs, he entered with the red plate, the number 1 seed. So he had the most points from Supercross and Motocross combined. Used that to his advantage because the other guys that he has to fight for, Braden Carter, not a very good outdoor season, only really had all his points scored in Supercross, so not a very good seeding. Seth Shirley raced a 250 in Supercross, so only had the 450 points to use for his seeding. And then obviously Luke Sullivan, he didn't race half of outdoors this year, so didn't score that many points ultimately for his seeding either. It's just kind of falling the way of Colby Eaglin, but he's now riding his way into a good position as he scoots around the outside of Hubbard, who slides out on the inside, and Eaglin now makes it into 2nd place. But kudos to him to rise to the occasion when all these other guys continue to make the mistakes. Eaglin is doing his job right now. But speaking of doing his job, this gentleman out front, Seth Shirley, now an 8-second lead on the field. And knowing Seth, he's probably just trying to put the laps in. Oh my goodness, and he's down. As I say that, a huge crash. He landed the initial crash on the triple, then went into the other lane. He's going to get up just as Colby Eaglin takes the lead here in Texas. Hubbard is still hanging out behind these guys, trying to get in the fray as well. Ah, my goodness. Is commentator's curse? I just said that Shirley was just doing his own thing out front, and then he crashes. And we're back to 4 riders separated by 3 seconds. Eaglin down with the lead, and here's Hubbard to the outside, taking it back over. Bodie Parker is still right there as well. He's in 4th, right there in the background on that Honda. Hubbard high centers the rut inside. Shirley uses the outside here. Let's see if he gets it. Sets Shirley back into the lead. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Hubbard, that inside line. Had the lead for a moment, and then Shirley got it right back. And then here's Eaglin with a better drive on corner exit. Triples to the outside, tries to use that line to get Hubbard, but Hubbard scoots back to the inside, defends. And Bodie Parker sitting back there just hoping these guys all get together. All the battles we've had in this moto, and it's just relentless. It's insane. Hubbard, little wayward on the tunnel jump. Rear end slid out on the face of it. I feel like Hubbard, you can sense now, really wants this one. Doesn't get the triple, doesn't get landed on. Oh my God, he got so lucky, but he slots back to 4th because of it. Eaglin goes by. Parker inside tripling, trying to get alongside Eaglin into the finish line jump. Whoa, dualies. Little bit long. Oh, Bodie Parker with a massive scrub. Gets by Colby Eaglin on the wall jump, but Eaglin's going to have a drive to the outside. Let's see what happens here. Oh, and Shirley's down with the lead. The crowd reacts to Shirley going down. Parker back out front. Eaglin side by side to the inside. Retakes the lead himself. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Now Eaglin a mistake, and Parker rips the outside trying to get back in line. Oh my goodness, this is relentless action, and Shirley all by himself throws the lead away. He's back to 4th. Amazingly, he fell off the bike, I think, and he's still only 4 seconds back in this battle. As Hubbard's still hanging tough, 3 riders nose to tail at the front. Eaglin now leads once again, and we still have over 3 minutes and a lap to go. Man, the playoffs are delivering in MX Simulator. These guys are going for it. Double in for Eaglin, double in for Parker, and they both nail that triple out. I feel like Parker looks like he's the aggressor of this fight. Eaglin choosing to change up his line for that triple across right there, and it works, but Parker's so good into the face of that double. And look at the scrub again, just scrubbing so low off that double into the wall jump. Now it's this time Parker will go to the outside. Eaglin defensive on the inside. Parker really ripped this outside very well. Let's see. He might get a pass for the lead here. He's going to try to get to the inside. Eaglin defends. But Parker's still trying to use the inside. Eaglin off the track. Parker back to the lead. How many lead changes do you want? It just keeps coming. And now it's Parker's turn at the front of the field with 2 minutes and a lap to go. Parker, Eaglin, Hubbard 2 seconds back, and Shirley still lurking back there. These guys are 25 seconds ahead of Pablo Vial. Then it's Sullivan up to 6 now. Oh, front end tuck. Eaglin in and out of the mechanics area again. What a fight. And what about this, man? This is crazy. We have had, 2 moto winners so far already, and Tom Quinault and Luke Sullivan. That Sully, yes, Quinault, definitely not. You just would not have predicted that would be the result at the opening round. Who would have predicted Bodie Parker leading Moto 1 in Texas? This is insane, this battle, and this action just keeps delivering every round of the playoffs thus far. And now it's Parker trying to hold on and win this opening moto. Hubbard keeping close there with Eaglin, and Shirley is back on his horse. Other than Bodie Parker, Shirley fastest rider on the track last time by. 121.4. And it's kind of stagnated just a little bit. Everyone just far enough apart from each other. 2 seconds back to Eaglin, another 2 back to Hubbard, another almost 2 back to Shirley as Hubbard goes to that inside rut there. Let's see how dug out this track has gotten to. These 450s really eating into it. Rider down across the start straight there. And I think, crazily enough, these guys are just barely going to get back to the flag stand again with time still on the clock. No, the clock for you guys says 40 seconds. It's actually 30. But I think we are still going to have 2 more laps to go this time by. And Eaglin looks like he's starting to get the ball rolling again just a little bit. Bodie Parker through the tunnel. 15 seconds left on the clock now. Parker triples, got it. Crosses with 10 seconds to go. We have got 2 laps to go here in Texas. Time will expire, and the white flag is coming out next time by. And Colby Eaglin closes this gap down. 120.8, 120.7. 2 seconds between them. Hubbard and Shirley fighting it out for third. Which battle do you want to watch? This is going to be good either way. Shirley versus Hubbard. Eaglin trying to run down Bodie Parker. Eaglin, a little mistake on that inside roller. Bobbled. Got back out just over 2 seconds now because of it, but rips that corner right there. I feel like Parker is riding very comfortable right now, though. Doesn't look to be wild, reserved, in his element. Just making sure he hits his marks, which is all you got to do. Don't need to push the envelope and do something stupid. You just got to hit your marks. And this race win will be his, but he's going to have to survive one more lap and some lappers. A gap opens up behind them. Hubbard and Shirley both had mistakes. Another 6 seconds back to Hubbard. Parker does not get the rhythm, but he does triple out. That's critical right there. Ooh, little sideways. Here comes Eaglin. Again, Eaglin not choosing to go to that inside rut, just outside triples. White flag in the air. Bodie Parker's trying to win Moto 1 in Texas. Let's see what happens. Wall jump. Both go to the outside in the split. 2-2-2 and into this critical rut. You got to make it and make it stick. And then both of them landing on the throttle. Eaglin goes inside here and crosses back over to the far inside here. And again inside through here. Lap traffic. Kind of holds up Parker. And here we go. Eaglin versus Parker for the win. Lappers moving aside. And Parker gets away through the sand very cleanly. Now he's ramped it up. You can see the intensity is back again. Scrubs down that triple. Lands it beautifully across the start straight to the mechanics area. One more time. This has bit Eaglin before, but he's clean through there. Inside roller. Parker's still holding steady. Lap traffic. Will they come into play with 3 corners to go? Double. Triple. Critical to get this rhythm section right. Whoever gets it the best is probably going to win this race. Lapper still in play. Doubles in. Triples. Does he triple through the inside? He does. Double, and Eaglin hits the pole and goes down. Bodie Parker checks up to double. Singles to the line. Moto 1 in Texas goes to Bodie Parker. Unbelievable. And Colby Eaglin's going to be left to settle for second, but it's a huge position as Hubbard just barely holds off Seth Shirley by a nose. 1/10 in it between the two of them. And Sully, what a climb through the field, gets all the way back to 5th. That's very critical for his championship perspective as well. So he'll end up top 5 in this moto. T-Lang, bit of a turnaround ride for him, and this one ends up in 6th. Vial 7th. Parks is pushing him to the line in 8th, though. Ethan Parks is hanging out with the best of them. Almost over the bars. And then Braden Carter is over the bars right before the flag. Nice little barrel roll, though, to salvage P9. Carter ends up 9th, looks frustrated. Bilar is 10th. Killian Ortiz 11th. Blake O'Brien 12th. Tom Quino 13th. Gosh, these guys still trying to go that triple. Just looks brutal. Devin Davis 14th. Frank Jackson 15th. Bryce Whelan 16th. Castellaneta 17th. Caleb Hall was 18th. The lap down. Xander Brion 19th. Pilsner 20th. Rogers 21st. And Siebold did not finish this one. Neither did Noah Bindis. That's a tough break after Bindis was so strong early on. All right, one rider to cross. Let's wait for those penalties, see if anything changes. And the top, no, actually Shirley gets on the box in this moto. He'll end up 3rd. Bodie Parker solidifies the win, though, 6 seconds. Honestly, if Eaglin stayed right on his hip, Eaglin would have won it. He had 1.2 more seconds than Eaglin did. But Eaglin is left to settle for 2nd. Hubbard gets 4th. Shirley gets 3rd. Sully 5th. T-Lang 6th in this one. And then the rest of the field down through the order. Wow. What a race that was. That was chaos nonetheless for Moto 1 here in Texas, and sets us up for one hell of a second moto in that 450 class. But before we do, of course, we got to roll into 250 Moto 2 coming up. And before we do that, I'll go ahead and remind you guys what happened in 250 Moto number 1. Of course, it was Seth Carr who ended up getting up there and taking the win, although he had to fight for it just a little bit coming through the field. Rasmus Balzer ended up second over Lucas Brune, Hayden Stevenson, Alec Horn, Evan Holt, Tyler Show, John Heilman, Jack Gatlin, and Emmanuel Cepeda inside of the top 10. If you're just joining us, you don't understand this format. 2 moto format, lowest score wins. So, for example, Seth Carr just got a 1 in the first moto. If he goes 1-1, that's 2 points. If someone goes 2-2, that's 4 points. So 2 wins the day. He would get 50 points, maximizing his haul. So it's basically the winner gets 50. Overall winner gets 50. Second place gets 44. Third place gets 40. Fourth place gets 36. Fifth place gets 32. And then sixth place gets 30, and so on and so forth down the order. But 50 points on offer here for the taking if Seth Carr can come out and win this thing. Because of the triple points finale, there's absolutely zero chance that he can clinch right now because there's still 75 points on the table next week, and I don't think there's a chance anybody leaves here 75 points down. But he did enter, I think, 18 points up and could certainly leave here, Seth Carr, with an even bigger advantage than that, probably 30-some-odd points up, which puts him in a good position. But if you think about it, 30 points next week, I think, let's see, the winner gets 75, and then it's 9 back to second, 15 back to third, 21 back to fourth, 26 back to fifth. And then I think if you get sixth place, that's like a 30-point gap or so. Chaos for these triple points for sure. But, yeah. Going to be a fun one to watch next week. If you will join us kindly next Wednesday for the finale of the MX Simulator playoffs. We are officially now halfway through the playoffs already, and we've been having a ton of fun with it thus far here in 2024. All right. Let's go ahead and get our Design Lab Co. whole shot pick for this one, shall we? 250 Moto 2, Jack Mark, Balzer, Cobble, McIntosh, Holden, Tharp, Alec Horn, Timmy Briscoe, Holtzy. I'm gonna go Evan Holt this time. I just got a feeling the 13 machine on the I-Spec. Husqvarna gets out front, takes it. Let's see if he can. It's time to drop the gate here for Moto 2 in the 250 class and determine an overall winner on the day here in just a few moments. So buckle up, everybody. Can Seth Carr go 1-1, or will someone else break through and take this dub? Rasmus Balzer certainly would like to throw his name in the hat as someone who could do it. Will he do it? That's a whole different question, though. It's a whole different kettle of fish, as they say. Taking a minute to load in. Hopefully I didn't miss the start. And it looks like we just did. They're off and running. Into turn number 1, it's Timmy Briscoe that shoves wide. Timmy Briscoe is going to get the whole shot here in Moto 2 of the 250s. Wow. Holtzy was second, so I nearly called it. Design Lab Co. brings you the whole shot award. Timmy Briscoe out front, his home race out of the LCQ. Leads here in Texas. Holtzy up in second early on. McIntosh in third. We got Tharp up there as well. I see the 50 of Race Cobble. Jeff Cooper, Wilczek. And it looks like Seth Carr is 14th. Briscoe triples in and leads the opening lap here. That's got to feel good for him out of the LCQ and into the race lead of this one. So how will he manage the 20 minutes plus 2 and all the pressure that will come from behind him? He goes defensive inside, outside for Holtzy. Going to try to swoop this line and take the lead. Outside again for Holtzy. Turns to the inside here. Thought about it, but Briscoe just decides to cut the line off and make sure he can't get in there. It's actually Colin Holden, excuse me, not Race Cobble. The number 50 confusing me. Cobble's actually number 60. Brandon Tharp peeks up the inside, not quite there. Change for the lead. Holtzy gets around Timmy Briscoe An aggressive move in the sand, but gets the job done. So now Holtz is going to try to take off and run with this thing. Colin Holden right on his hip there as well. And Holtzy in the first moto was P6. So needs some help for an overall win, but you never know how things could go, especially guys Tharp and Partolo, who both DNF'd the first moto. They're up here mixing it up. There's Jeff Cooper. And then Seth Carr up the inside. 3 wide nearly across the triple. Carr shorts it just a little bit. Trying to keep an eye on for the all red of Rasmus Balzer. He is in 15th place. Not a good start this time out for the 19 machine, as Carr goes to work on his teammate Austin Partolo. Evan Holt leads from Timmy Briscoe, Braden Tharp, Colin Holden, and then Partolo. We got guys going down off the track. That's Holden and Tharp getting together, and they're going to see pretty much the whole field go by. Everyone was still pretty tight-knit here. In fact, Balzer was the guy that comes in to take advantage. He was 15th. Those guys are fighting for 3rd, and Balzer goes from 15th up to 14th now, getting around one of them. But that's what happens when you crash early in these races, man. You let a lot of guys go by you. Looks like Carr made a mistake. He's back to 7th behind Jeff Cooper. John Heilman also went by, but Carr able to get right back by Cooper up into 6th. Trying to work on John Heilman now as Holtzy pulls out a 3-second lead on Briscoe. Partolo actually putting the heat on him for 2nd place. And then Heilman versus Seth Carr, the fight for 4th here. Jumping over the tunnel jump together. Partolo to the outside of Timmy Briscoe. Briscoe scrubs it down to get to this inside line and tucks the front end. Doesn't fall off the bike as Partolo goes for the triple in and gets it. Heilman up into 3rd, lands in the tough blocks. And jumping over top from Seth Carr. Very lucky that Heilman made such a mess of it that he didn't slide underneath of Carr and then get landed on. But Carr now moves up into 3rd place. Partolo runs the fastest lap of the race, but everyone is still so close together. You can't count anybody out just yet, especially if someone like Carr has a crash right now. He would let a lot of guys go. From 1st all the way back to 11th, still just 10 seconds separating the field. And look at how close everybody still is here. Stevenson, Gatlin, Tyler Show, Braden Tharp. There's Balzer going through the rollers. Max Wilczek, Colin Holden, Vanderkoy, Cobble, Horn, Nerona. I mean, just endless amounts of talent going down these straightaways right now. But they're all chasing this man still, Evan Holt. 4 minutes into this 20 minute plus 2 lap race. It means there's 16 minutes to go. Idiot. Holtzy just trying to put it down because Seth Carr with a 1-3 right now stands to win the overall regardless. Doesn't even need to win the moto, and he'll still maximize his points haul. But Holtzy with a 6-1 certainly puts his name in the hat for some funsies about getting into a little bit of a fight up near the front down the stretch. And every point counts. I mean, triple points next week. If you're Holtzy, you could get some good points this week. Maybe come out of here. Let's say he is the guy that is 30 back of Seth Carr or whatever after this week. He stands a chance at least going into the finale as someone who could win if things go really bad for Seth Carr. But right now things are going back his way again. 1:19.1, fastest lap of the race. That time by for him. And Partolo, his teammate, a mistake in the rhythm section. And Carr just was able to scoot on by into the 2nd position. So now he's going to try to run down this man, Evan Holt, in the race lead. We'll see if he can. Plenty of time left on the clock still to do it. Much faster into this position than in the first moto for Seth Carr. It took him probably 13 minutes to get into a fight near the front. This time we are just 5.5 minutes in, and he can already see the race leader ahead of him, and he's starting to close that gap down in a hurry. Less than 2 seconds. So if you're Holtzy here, you just got to try to run your own race. Do what you can, because if you try to ride a little bit faster than your own capabilities here, you will end up on the deck. And with guys still pretty close together, that's the last thing you want to have happen to you. Through the double triple here at the far end of the circuit. Up to the inside, Holtzy kind of hooks that rut a little awkwardly, but still goes 2, 3, and 3 through there pretty cleanly. Carr does not do it cleanly, and Holtzy gets a bit of an advantage from it. Crowd reacting, but I'm not sure to what. None of the leaders just went down, so they're all good there. By the way, Rasmus Balzer has snuck into 6th. He was 2nd in the first moto. And working on Hayden Stevenson for 5th. They're in the rollers in the background right there. In fact, he just went to 5th because Stevenson, or Heilman? Yeah, Stevenson went down. Look at this, inside for Carr. Not quite close enough just yet. Scrubbing through there. Look at that mistake from Holtze. Carr takes advantage, but Holtze fires back and gets right back into the lead. So that was weird. Carr like kind of had the pass, but then stood it up really awkwardly on the ruts and kind of squirreled out on corner exit. And Evan Holt retakes the race lead again. Triple through that inside line, and that was a little bit better and tidier there for Carr this time by. Holtze still gets a triple back onto the start straight, over the finish line jump. Carr! Oh my goodness, how does he not go through the front right there? He landed about as vertical as you can on the nose without it actually going over the bars. I just realized there's a tiger sitting in the background as they go by the crowd right there. I don't know what that is. There's like 2 or 3 of them sitting back there. Pretty funny. Holtze versus Carr for the lead, though, is all anyone wants to talk about. I'll tell you that. Look at this. Carr's going to try this inside. Hubbard made some passes here in the 450 moto. Oh, Carr tries to block. No, it doesn't work. Holtze fights back. He was slightly off the track, but I think he got back within the tough blocks before he made that pass. So Holtze still holds the lead. Carr almost got into his rear fender there. Up and over the tunnel jump and down. Carr going to try the inside here. Dooley's off this triple. Holtze defensive, immediately cuts the line off and stays in there. 2, 3, 3 again. Gets it clean. Carr, a mistake. Doesn't quite get it. Triple clean for Holtze. Yeah, what are these tigers on this? What is happening there? And it's like in that really awkward legs open pose as well. That's all right. Hey, even the Tigers are coming out this weekend to watch the race. Oh, Holtze down! No! Front end wash and off the bike he goes. That is a tough break for how well he was riding to that point, and Carr takes advantage to go into the lead. In and out of the tough blocks a little bit there, so got to be careful, but got a plenty big enough gap. All right, Balzer's made it up to 3rd, and the only way this falls his way now, I'd have to imagine, is a crash out of Seth Carr, which, gotta admit, gonna be tough. Gonna be tough, but crazier things have happened. So now halfway into 250 Moto 2, Seth Carr checks in with the race lead. 8.5 second lead over Evan Holt. Man, he has not been very good through this rhythm section. That's odd to see from the red plate holder. Scrub for Carr. All right, so I feel like Balzer is going to start reeling in Evan Holt here. Let's see how quickly it happens. 119.1. If it wasn't for the 119 flat that Seth Carr just laid down out front, I'd be like, okay, Balzer might actually stand a chance here. But yeah, Carr's still just doing his business. No problem out front. Brogan McIntosh from the LCQ is in 4th. And Cepeda rounding out our top 5 right now. Where's some other of our heavy hitters? John Heilman, P8. We got, who else? Some tough breaks for some other guys down the field. Evan Vanderkoy in 9th. Lucas Brune. Lucas Brune is in... I guess Lucas Brune didn't start this moto. Lucas Brune not out there after getting 3rd in the first moto. Hayden Stevenson 10th after 4th in the first moto. And Alec Horn, who got 5th in the first moto, is currently running in 19th. All right, that gap has all but been ate up, I should say, for the fight for second place. Balzer on Evan Holt. Holt in and out of the tough blocks a little bit right there. And Balzer nailing the 2-3-3, closes the gap down. Oh, Balzer down, cases the triple, and yards it up. Allows some guys to go by. Cepeda, actually nobody went by. He stayed in third because they had big enough gaps. So Colin Holden, Cepeda, McIntosh, Briscoe, Heilman. They're all in a bit of a freight train right here. This is a good one. Oh, crowd reacting. Is the leader down? No. Well, maybe. Let's see if the gap changes. Could hear them very loudly in my ear there for a second. And they're reacting again as if the leader went down again. I mean, the gap has come down, so I guess he did. 7 seconds now, the gap. Just over 7 seconds, actually. All right, back to this fight. Cepeda goes down. Briscoe almost runs into him, goes off the track. McIntosh goes by. And a few other faces will slide by as well. Cepeda goes behind Vanderkoy. John Heilman also went through. There's Heilman trying to get Timmy Briscoe and Will. Briscoe falls back to 7th. McIntosh P5. Rider down is Colin Holden on the inside. That's 4th place. So Heilman goes by. Briscoe goes by. And McIntosh had already gone by. Other yellow flags out. Not sure who was down there. Maybe, no, Rogan McIntosh still in the same position. Got away pretty cleanly there. Ooh, big off. Heilman down. A lot of guys are going to go by because everyone mid-pack was still pretty damn close together. And Heilman goes from battling inside the top 5 to just ahead of Max Wilczek, who comes across in 11th. Tyler Show in 12th. And yeah, everyone's still pretty close together. Vanderkoy actually going to work now on Cepeda. That'd be for 7th. And up the road, Briscoe is working on Colin Holden for what would be 5th place. So even though the lead battles have spread apart a little bit, still plenty of battles to be had through the midfield. And Timmy Briscoe, honestly, from the LCQ, really has turned his night around. 17th in the first moto, now 6th in this one. It helps when you hole shot, I'll admit, but he's hung up here as well. And Cepeda just went down and took Vanderkoy with him. So they'll lose the spot to Stevenson, and that is Heilman also going by. Wilczek is now between the two. Actually, Wilczek is now ahead of the two because he just goes right around the outside of Cepeda. Excuse me. Ooh, mistake for Colin Holden. Almost falls off the machine. But he is still eyes focused on Rogan McIntosh. Balzer just quietly 3rd. Evan Holt 2nd. And this man leading, coming up on 5 minutes and a lap left to go. Well, now, I mean, I feel like you have to ask the question because he's going to have such a big championship lead that we're starting to just say, yeah, he's going to take this in Vegas no matter what. Does Seth Carr go perfect? 1-1 at the opener, number 1 seed. And now sitting on a 1-1 potentially here in Texas. He is taking the Hayden Deegan route of the 250 class right now. Which is, why let anybody else win when I can just win everything? He doesn't even need to win this moto. He could just let Evan Holt win it if he wants. But it doesn't matter. He's going to go 1-1 because he's that guy. So can he get the perfect season will be a question if he wraps this thing up. Back to the fight for 4th. McIntosh has been caught by Colin Holden. Holden has just been inching up slowly. 122 flat last time by versus a 124.3. Colin Holden running that 22. Look at this. 3-3, 2 to the inside. Oh my gosh, they checked each other, and somehow Holden gets away with not getting landed on by Rogan McIntosh. Very close in that one, but a nice job in the end to skirt the damage and hold on to the position and make the pass, actually, I should say. Stick for P4, so Colin Holden keeps moving forward. First moto for Colin Holden was a 15th. I mean, we're seeing the exact same thing happen in SMX that we saw happen in Pro Motocross, which is Seth Carr is consistently going 1-1, 1-2, 3-1, 1-3, whatever you want to call it. And everyone else is going like 2-17, 3-14, like all over the board. It's insane. And obviously outdoors, that gave Carr a massive upper hand because he could just keep gaining a lot of points in the championship. I mean, he won the RFGP championship 5 motos early because he had such a massive lead. 125 points in a 10-round series is crazy. But these guys are just inconsistent. It's just the reality. I mean, you got to give kudos, I guess. Evan Holt going 6-2. Balzer is going 2-3. He's kind of doing everything he can do, I feel like, Rasmus Balzer tonight. But this man is just a freak of nature on the sticks, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people are, but us here at Start Your Systems are very excited to see this guy on a 450 because Braden Carter is trying to go for the 4-peat next year in Supercross, or the 5-peat, I should say. He already has a 4-peat. And who's going to dethrone him? Will it be Seth Shirley, who dominated 250s last year? Or maybe, just maybe, this gentleman moves up and lays claim. Certainly one of the best in the world in the game right now. Oh, second down, Evan Holt down off the bike. And Balzer is going to take advantage to go by into second. So now it is a 1-1-2-2 for our top 2. Oh, Balzer, that was risky jumping that still. With the, I don't know who that is. Balzer just laid it down. As here comes Holtzy to get back by on the inside. Balzer rips the outside and gets him. Good little back and forth between these two. Oof, Balzer just greases that scrub. Final minute and a half of this race, and Balzer's going to do everything he can to lock down 2-2, even though it does not matter. If he goes 2-3 or 2-2, he would still end up second overall over Evan Holt. I guess the real problem that he's going to have here is they keep making too many mistakes. Guys like Rogan McIntosh, Colin Holden, they'll start working their way into the picture. You just can't let them do it if you are in their situation. Weird to see Alec Horn 16th and a lap down in this one after 5th in the first moto. Not a good second one for him. Hayden Stevenson salvaged pretty well. 4th in the first moto. He's now up to 6th. Good ride for the 12. 1 point battle for the win in the first moto as well. Balzer and Holtzy just at each other's throats right now, and Carr checks in out front with 23 seconds on the clock, so still had to wait quite a long time before that time would expire. In fact, these guys are probably just barely going to miss the timer, so I think if you're Carr, you made the right decision in still going for it. Mistake from Balzer, and we're side by side in the rhythm. Balzer does not get the preferred 3-3 option on exit, and Holtzy takes advantage, but now Balzer gets the exit of it very good. They both swing wide to get this triple. Holtzy a little bit short, and now it's a drag race to the finish line here. Dualies. Dualies. Good ones right there, too. Into the wall jump. Now does this work? Holtzy is going to check up and go to the outside, but he actually got off the wall clean enough to get a little bit on Balzer and got away with making that pass back. So these two are 30 seconds off the lead, but having a hell of a fight for second place. It is just relentless between the two. And as I say that, Balzer front end, tuck, and down. Fortunately for him, way across there in the background, those guys going down that straightaway. That's 4th place right there. So, yeah, they're just going to go all the way down to that corner way over there. And that is Rogan McIntosh being followed by Colin Holden. They're going to come through here. And, oh, there they are, 4th place, Rogan McIntosh. Big old gap back to these guys. And Carr just checked in out front to take the white flag as he's in the wall jump there in the background. Unbelievable. He is maybe going to lap into the top 10 if he has a really good last lap here, which is ridiculous given that the lap times here are 1 minute and 20 seconds, and it's only a 20-minute race. As I say that, he goes down. The crowd reacts to him hitting the deck. Teammate Austin Partolo right in behind him. And for Seth Carr now, it is simply a victory cruise. He's going to let his teammate go. Doesn't need to worry about that. Got a 34-second lead. What do you got to bother with these guys? Just let him go. But it looks like he's trying to beat whoever that is so that maybe his teammate doesn't have to deal with them. That's Horn on the 27. Timmy Briscoe falling apart. Was top 6 for so long and is now down to 16th. Side by side with Horn. Yeah, I think Carr is trying to make sure Horn doesn't get another lap so that he could fight with Partolo. He's trying to help Partolo here in an unorthodox kind of way. And as I say that, he lands on Partolo. And Partolo somehow did not fall off the bike. But it is still going to be a 1-1 sweep of sheer and utter dominance. The ball just keeps on rolling, and it's going to roll all the way to Las Vegas. Seth Carr sweeps the Texas Motor Speedway MX Simulator Playoff round in the 250 class. Well done, son, and well done to this gentleman right here, Evan Holt, who will pick up a 6-2 and at least put himself in a pretty good position championship-wise going into the finale. We'll see how it all shapes up. This gentleman right here will get second overall tonight. Balzer, 2-3 performance. He'll get 44 points. All told, Balzer only loses 6 points on the night to Seth Carr, which, things could be worse. Manuel Cepeda trying to hold on for fourth, has McIntosh and Stevenson fighting. Oh, Stevenson gets clobbered by McIntosh. That's going to hurt because Tyler Show's going to go by. Colin Holden just went down, but John Heilman's going to go by. And these overalls are about to be whack, son. I don't know what we're looking at anymore. Cepeda fourth, Show fifth, Heilman sixth, Stevenson seventh, McIntosh eighth, Colin Holden ends up in ninth and immediately disconnects. Evan Vanderkoy looks like he was down with Ben Nerona, but he is going to potentially end up in 11th. Nerona is trying to go for the triple, and he got it. Oh, my gosh. It worked. Nerona, P10, by tripling to the line. Vanderkoy 11th. Wilczek went down going for the triple. Partolo goes by for 12th. Wilczek 13th. Briscoe 14th. And Jeff Cooper lap down. Horn, Gatlin, Arico, Mark Tharp, Cobble, Dallaire. That was your running order in SMX Race 2 of the 250 class. Everything in the top 5 stayed the same, and indeed confirmed Seth Carr sweeps round 2 of the playoffs, and he'll have himself a healthy points lead going into the finale. I actually want to see, I don't know if this updates in live time or not, but I want to see if we will see our results come through already. So we'll go find our racing page, Playoffs NA. Yeah, actually, it looks like it is updating in real time. Just need the server to restart to get those scores. And then we'll give you guys an update on that. Still trying to figure out where the standings are. I'm just dumb. Okay. Now that it is restarted, we should be... Let's see if it updates. It is not updated yet, so we cannot show the results because they are not correct. Oh, there they are. Now they're correct. Okay. And we ran out of virtual memory. Shocking. Let's go ahead and reload back into the server. And while we do that, we will go ahead and show you guys the results from tonight. Seth Carr takes the win, 1-1, gets those 50 points right there. That's crucial to walk away with if you are Seth Carr. And championship-wise, things are looking awfully pretty for him. Excuse me. Rasmus Balzer, 44 points for him. 40 points, Evan Holt. 36 for Hayden Stevenson. 34, Tyler Show. 32 for Cepeda. 30, Heilman. And so on and so forth down the order. I don't know how to look for the standings today. Let's see. Do I just need to go here? Nope. Okay. Yeah, we'll get there when it's time. I was hoping that I could see the standings updated, but I don't know how to get to the standings page. But at least we see click MXS playoffs. Oh, okay. Now I see. Got it. That makes more sense. All right. Standings 250 class. And it does, it does show Fort Worth. Okay, so Seth Carr leads this championship now by 29 points over Hayden Stevenson, 30 over Holt, and 30 over Balzer, heading into the finale. So that is your situation going into the last race of the playoffs. And we will get loaded into the server now to get ready for 450 Moto number 2. Thank you, Seth Carr. I appreciate you telling me how to do it because I don't have a clue. At this point, I'm turning into like borderline boomer where I don't know how tech works. I need you guys to explain stuff to me. All right, final moto of the night, 450 SMX race number 2. Whole shot brought to you by The Design Lab Co. Head over to thedesignlabco.com and check out all they have to offer. And they'll bring us a whole shot pick in Moto 2, which of course I want to say is Hubbard, but let's pick someone else just to be fun. Hubbard gets off the gate pretty well, but it could be any number of another people. I'm going to go Seth Shirley because he almost got it in the first moto. And if he can turn it around here in Moto 2, that would be big time. All right. Bodie Parker won the first moto. Eaglin was second. Shirley third. Hubbard fourth. And Sullivan rounded out the top 5. Who is going to win tonight here in Texas in the 450 class? It is that time to drop the gate and go racing. 20 minutes plus a lap. Lowest score wins. And we are going to get loaded in just in time. Oh, no, we loaded in well before time. There we go. Okay. Now they just loaded in. All right, here we go. .450 Moto 2, let's get it. It's off and running here in Texas. Braden Carter gets off the gate super good from the middle. The number 9 gets the Design Lab Co. whole shot. The 450 Supercross champ is out front. Quino's up there. Hubbard tucks the front end in third place. Shirley, he's in the mix as well. He's in second. He gets around Quino right away. Sully off to a good start. Oh my goodness, Eaglin's up here. All the top guys. I think Vial's even in 6th. Here we go, folks. Strap in. This is going to be a good one. Shirley wants to go with Carter right away, and he is already on him. As Sullivan makes a mistake, and Eaglin shoots by into 4th place. So it's Carter from Shirley. We've begged to see this battle between these two, especially on a pseudo supercross track. These two are elite talents in this game. Look at Shirley trying to force the issue to the outside. Just hugging those inside lines. Powers off the outside to get a better run through this next straightaway. And look at now, Carter has a bit of breathing room there, opening up. I feel like Carter after the first moto was just pissed, man. Watching his championship hopes in this MXS playoffs title fight diminish a little bit with a rough first moto where he could only manage to get P9. So the best he can hope for, really, I think, is a podium. Seth Shirley right now, 3-2 in a good position. Colby Eaglin, 2-4, also good position. Luke Sullivan, 5-4. He's in a good position as well. Like, there's a lot of guys that could score lower here than Braden Carter. And we just got to see how it all shakes down. Bodie Parker, by the way, our Moto #1 winner, is in 20th place. This is the exact same thing we saw last week, where Quinault got a good first Moto win and then had to charge through the field in the second one. And then, yeah, we're seeing it all over again with Bodie Parker, unfortunately. All right, down through the split again. Shirley is trying to force a mistake out of Carter by using this outside line. Not quite close enough just yet, but still just keeping him honest, putting the heat on. It's Carter, Shirley, Quinault, Sullivan, Vial, Lang, Whelan, Eagland, Pilsner, and Jackson in the top 10. So Eagland made a mistake. He's back to 8th. That's kind of crucial, too, as these guys try to sort out these overall results. Look at this, Shirley to the inside on the roller. Not quite close enough just yet. Carter powers around the outside to hold the lead. Double into this Supercross triple. Both of them scrub the same direction. And I heard all these guys were just desperate to get to that far, far inside line on corner entry. A little bit better to set you up for that rut, but it seems so notchy from that off-camber perspective as Carter almost jumps off the track and Shirley's going to get a run up alongside of him. Dualies for the race lead over the finish line jump. Dualies again. This time they go the same way. Let's see if Shirley gets a nose in here. I think he's going to go to the outside. No, he's going inside. So they swap lines this time. Can Shirley get enough in there to take the lead? He's going to momentarily get it, but Carter's going to try to fight back on the outside. It's not enough. Seth Shirley takes the race lead. All right, so now how does Carter answer as he makes a small bobble there? But it's Carter's turn to figure this out as he swaps on corner exit right there. Went for a bit of a ride. And Shirley won 18-1 last time by. Fastest rider on the track and fastest lap of the race at that as well. Braden Carter slides out. Back across the start straight he goes, just trying to keep him honest. Quinault up here in the mix. Tom Quinault, the first moto, 12th. Now running 3rd, just ahead of Luke Sullivan. And Eagland's struggling, man. He's back to 12th. So not what we expected out of Colby Eagland in this one. After getting a good start going backwards, and now Sullivan fighting his way forward, gets crossed up by Quinault. Somehow got enough room in there to still make the pass happen. And then Quinault gets into the back of him, holds up T-Lang, holds up Bryce Whelan. T-Lang has to pop out of the rut, slides out, and that hurt T-Lang more than anything. He goes from 4th back to 6th and allows a lot of these guys some breathing room. More crucially, Luke Sullivan gets a lot of breathing room out of this. So 5-3, he is going to beat Braden Carter no matter what. Question is, will he beat Colby Eagland on a 2:11? Yeah, 8 versus 13. Eagland's got to get on his horse at this point. And Sullivan is going to gain points on those championship rivals, but Shirley is the big winner of this all right now. 3-1 stands to win this whole thing. And these points are going to be so interesting going into the finale if it finishes as is right now. Of course, so much racing still to go. It won't finish this way, I don't think, but you just never know. So here's Whelan 4th, Quinault 5th, T-Lang 6th, Vial 7th, D. Davis 8th, Pilsner 9th. Eagland is now 10th, and not too far behind him is Bodie Parker. So our Moto 1 winner and Colby Eagland, who finished 2nd in the first moto, are kind of linked together, though they have other riders around them. Frank Jackson, Xander Brion sandwiching Bodie Parker right here. Jacob Hubbard, he's starting to march forward. He was 4th in the first moto. He's going with Eagland. And a lot of these guys were down early. In fact, Hubbard, I first saw him in 20th, I believe. So he's making some good amends. But Eagland is just going to put his eyes forward. Next up for him is Pilsner, D. Davis, T-Lang on the 5, just in front of that. And, man, the pace out front is ridiculous. 118 flat, Seth Shirley. 118.3, Braden Carter. They're going faster than anybody else on this track right now. And it is intense. We got a rider down on this straightaway. Nope, guess not. Must have just picked it up. Or maybe it was Tom Quinault, I guess, because he's fallen back into this group. And look at the gaggle of riders here. T-Lang, Quinault, D. Davis going in and out of the tough blocks. And Pilsner with Eagland. And, yeah, question in chat about Colby Eagland. Why does he have the red plate when Luke Sullivan won the opening round last week? SMX, there's points for seeding, and Eagland was the number 1 seed. He had 25 points coming in. Sullivan, I think, was 9th seed, something like that, so he only had 16 points. And Eagland had enough points from his seeding to finish, I think, 3rd at the opening round. Lost 5 points, but still held on to the red plate. So, yes, Sully did win the opener, but did not actually take the championship lead because of those seeding points coming in. And as of right now, I think even if Shirley wins this, Eagland might still walk away as a red plate holder. That is how close everything has been in this 450 class. T-Lang just trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. Sullivan's still in 3rd, Carter's 2nd, and Shirley's still leading. So Carter just went 1:17.7 for the fastest lap of the race last time by. He is starting to pick up the pace on his number 9 Phil Ski and Snowboard Yamaha. And, ooh, a little bit wayward right there, though. But if Shirley starts feeling the heat, I wonder how he responds. These guys are pulling away together from the rest of the field. 13 seconds up on Sullivan. And just as I say, Carter was starting to inch closer. He made 2 very critical mistakes, and now he's 5 seconds off the lead. So forget about that. He's got a lot of work to do to get back in there. Let's go find some battles. Go back to Eagland. Still just a couple spots ahead of Bodie Parker. There's Parker now behind Xander Brion. So this is our Moto 1 winner. Looking at a 1:13 day right now. Hey, I've seen those numbers together before. Oh, crowd's reacting. What happened? Leader's down. Leader is down. Seth Shirley, after the triple, which has caught out guys so many times today, goes down and hands the lead over to Braden Carter. So here we go again. Heard the crowd erupt as Shirley absolutely dies from the race lead. Now he's 2 seconds back. Let's go on board with the number 44 Providence KTM ride and see how he is seeing things from his perspective. .126 flat with that crash, so he was on a good one. And now Carter, man, everyone's been tripped up by that corner. Just the little shelf that's created on corner exit. No one can get it stood up in time to do exactly what they're hoping to do. One second in it for the race lead as we approach the halfway point of this moto. Still Shirley's overall for the taking with that 3-2. You know he wants to win this second moto, and at the very least wants to keep Carter honest as he again makes another big mistake on that triple jump. 1:19.7, 1:20.3. Only 6/10 between them in terms of lap times as, Sully goes down in 3rd place. And Vial is going to get there and go by. That's Pablo Vial, the fastest qualifier, going by into 3rd. He was 7th in the first moto. That hurts Sully a lot, by the way. 5-4 now for him. That gives another position in which that, Colby Eagland can get up there. I think Eagland's already ahead of him on a 2-7. Actually, no, that's tied. That would be 9 points each and better second moto for Sully. But if Eagland gets another spot, then he'd be ahead of him again on points for the day. As I say that, T-Lang just went by Eagland as they go through the rollers together. So Eagland's trying to put in the work on T-Lang. Tom Quinault just ahead of Tyler Lang. And then Bryce Whelan just ahead of them is the top 5. So Eagland still has a shot at getting into the top 5 here. And depending on how things go with Seth Shirley out front, there's a chance that an overall win comes out of just some really oddball scores here today. Like, if Shirley has another crash, he could go 3-3 and would still win the overall as it stands. And Yeah, the leader's down. Braden Carter now crashes on the triple. I saw someone going down in the background, and the same triple that bit Shirley 2 laps ago now bites Braden Carter, and now both of them have had the same crash as Vial gets it cleanly behind them, and he's starting to inch up a little bit. 118.7 Pablo Vial. He is really starting to find his flow as the track comes into its own. And now Shirley 1.2 up on Carter in the lead again. So now that each of them has had their crash, we're back to kind of status quo with both of them. And the question now is who has got a better grasp on this track at this point in time. All the odd bumps all throughout it. Shirley looks like he's been able to settle down quite nicely, but Carter's lurking, man. And you do not want Braden Carter to be within somewhat striking distance in the closing stages of a race. He is so good at just wearing you down. He's not a 4-time Supercross champion for nothing. Lap traffic, that's Brandon Larson, I believe, who they are lapping. First guy to get lapped in this moto. And he gets put a lap down. Ooh, that was wild for B-Lars somehow to not crash. So Vial probably needs a little bit more help to be there. And then Sully is still just another few seconds behind him. So 118.7 Shirley, 119.3 Braden Carter, 119 flat for Pablo Vial. As we've got 7 minutes and a lap to go in this race, and Shirley's trying to hold on and win this thing and win this round of the playoffs. Ooh, in and out of the tough blocks a little bit, and here comes Carter. Carter will see those mistakes and sense opportunity. He is very good, intuitive in that sense. Kind of like Jet Lawrence is, where if there's a vulnerability, he pounces. So now you're going to see Carter up the intensity. The pace will be higher. This corner will be shredded. Not quite good enough just yet, though, as Shirley defends. And if these two start messing with each other, Vial will keep getting closer. He is under 8 seconds back of them, going over the tunnel jump in the background. Blake O'Brien, tough moto for him, 21st place. He's a lap down now as well. Ooh, Carter, a mistake. Is he down? Oh, very lucky to save it. But that gives Shirley the breathing room he wanted. Seth Shirley now has a 3.9 second gap. Vial, the fastest rider on the track last time by, 119.8. And Luke Sullivan hanging tough, 119.9 for him. T-Lang is yard sailing out of 5th place. And Quinault is going to take advantage for sure. Brion and Eagland might. Actually, Quinault also went down as well. So no one passes T-Lang. He was just down chilling by himself. And instead, Colby Eagland has now moved into 7th behind Xander Brion. Bodie Parker is 10th, looking at a 110 day for our Moto 1 winner. Hubbard on a 411 right now. Yeah, these overalls are just wild all over the place. But we'll be sure to kind of go over them right as soon as the moto ends, as Quinault shows Colby Eagland a wheel there for 7th and then folds up and crashes on the outside there. Brion trying to figure out a way around T-Lang. Hear the crowd reacting to something. It is not any of these guys. I think it was Vial maybe. Vial down, and Sully moves up into 3rd, so a 5-3 day for Sully. That helps him in this fight back here with Eagland, who's still looking at a 2.7. 5-3 beats that 2.7. Eagland just cannot figure out a way to get around Xander Brion right now into the top 5. All right, back into the lead. And a little bit of a gap established once again between Shirley and Carter, now to 3.3 seconds. Blake O'Brien goes down in front of Carter, and it helps out Shirley that little bit much more, almost out to 5 seconds now. In fact, Vial and Sullivan are going to start creeping up on Carter before long. If Carter makes like one more mistake, they'll pretty much be right behind him. So that's also something interesting to watch because, like, right now, if Shirley goes down with the lead, he would lose a spot to Sullivan, and Carter goes down out of second. So just as I said that, he's the one that makes the mistake, and he goes back to fourth. This is killing Carter right now. As Shirley just tiptoes through the corner right there. It's a 10-second lead for Seth Shirley back to Luke Sullivan. Shirley on a 3-1, Sully on a 5-2, and the leader is down. Seth Shirley's down. He's backwards in the track. He has to spin the bike around. Here's Sully trying to take the race lead, and he will. Luke Sullivan leads for just a brief second, and Shirley fights back to get into the lead again. This is not going to matter for the overall as Shirley's 3-2 beats Sully's 5-1, but Sully is suddenly back in the picture. Crazy how this is unfolding, and Carter is still right back there in the background behind these guys. And he would love to come to play as well. Luke Sullivan. Call him Mr. October if you will, because he shows up to shine in the playoffs. Mr. September, I should say. It is September. I don't know what month of the year it is anymore. But he is on Seth Shirley for the race lead here. And I don't know. I guess Shirley knows that he doesn't need to win this, so this probably helps him settle it back down. But also, he wants to win. But Sully wants it that much worse, I feel, as he jumps through the tough blocks. Blake O'Brien is racing these guys hard right now in 18th as well. He's trying to stick with them. Sully is on it, though, man. Look at him go. Just slowly getting better. Down to the final 2 minutes. 2 minutes and a lap left to go in this race. Seth Shirley looking at a 3-1. Luke Sullivan at a 5-2. Braden Carter a 9-3. And Colby Eagland a 2-8. Kind of shows where our overall scores are all mixed up right now. Bodie Parker actually 1-7, kind of back into the picture a little bit. Maybe even outside shot for a podium. So these guys probably have 3 to go because they're going to get to the flag again before time expires. Unless they both crash a lot this lap. Carter has kind of lost touch with them just a little bit. 6 seconds off the lead now. Shirley just really trying to mind himself through some of these tricky sections, the bumps, the chop, the rough. I mean, that corner is brutal. Watch it from Carter's perspective. Exit this corner is just like a shelf right there that you have to pop up onto. Carter does it quite well there. And now looks like a little bit of a gap established for Shirley. Can maybe just maybe breathe a small sigh of relief. But yes, they will indeed have 2 to go this time by. The time still with plenty left on the clock. Probably going to cross at about 1935, so 25 seconds left on the clock. Some lap traffic down right in front of Shirley. That could have been costly as Sully closes back up again. That was Killian Ortiz who was down. Braden Carter, Vial, Brion still top 5. Parker's made it all the way to 6th, and he has a shot at getting into the top 5 as well. As Eagland has slipped back into 7th, so a 2-7 day for Eagland. Bodie Parker looking at a 1-6 now. And gosh, is he going to kick himself, because he came from 20th in this moto to 6th. And if he could have just started a little higher up, he would have had a decent shot at battling for the overall. But such is life. He's going to watch a 3-1 beat his 1-5 now. He did get around Brion. At least as of now, that's how it stands. But we will see as the white flag is set to come out next time by, and Sullivan is still just trying his hardest. Just trying to minimize his score. Was 5th in the first moto, so a win in the second moto will help. But loses a little bit of touch now. In fact, it's going to start dealing with heat from Braden Carter before long, and less so trying to run down Seth Shirley. All right, white flag is about to come out. Shirley still trying to nail this triple. Got it. Sully. Got it. And Carter doesn't got it. Over the bars, down, out of 3rd, and that is going to allow Pablo Vial potentially to get into 3rd place. Yes, he will as he goes by there. So now all eyes focus back into the lead. Seth Shirley trying to win here in Texas, but a mistake as he goes off the track. And Sully will see that and give his all on this final lap. And the beauty of it as well is because Carter went down, Sully could send it if he wants, because a crash will not lose him second place in this race. But perhaps he is just keen to settle, take his lumps, go 5-2 on the day, get that score of 7. We'll see, though. Half a lap to go here in Texas. Seth Shirley, a 3-1 will get it done. He'll maximize his points haul with 50 points. Up and over the tunnel on the final lap. Just staying nice and tight on the left side of the track, trying not to hit all the truly hardest parts of the track. 2, 3. 3 out clean, and he's got it. He's got to get through the triple, but he should be good. Well, finally, the promise is being fulfilled. Seth Shirley takes the win here in Texas. It's a 3-1 performance to get the overall win. Luke Sullivan will end up probably second overall with a 5-2. We'll have to see. Braden Carter 9-3. Pablo Vial looking at a 7-4. Brion did get back around Bodie Parker, who slipped all the way back to 7th. 1-7, yeah, is less points than a 5-2. Eaglin looking at a 2-6. Luke Sullivan might walk away with second overall in this one. That is big. As Eaglin is going to be left to settle with third on the podium by the looks of it. Going to go 2-6 today, 8 points. 1 point behind what Luke Sullivan put down, and Eaglin does indeed end up in 6th. Parker down, allows another position to go by. No, he does not. Hubbard will not get there. At least so long as Parker does not crash here, he is good. Ends up in 8th, goes 1-8 for 9 points. Hubbard 4-9 for 13 points. Ethan Parks, a couple of top 10s for our SYS Racing Zone. Gets 18 points on the day. Jeremy Seabolt rebounds from a really terrible first moto to get 11th. Jackson 12th. D. Davis 13th for him. Caleb Hall, Killian Ortiz, O'Brien, Garrett, Lang, Quino, Castellaneta. Penalties are in. Does anything change up front? Nope, it all stays the same. Seth Shirley, your winner here in Texas. And well done, Sunshine, to Seth Shirley. We'll see if he's up for an interview. And whether or not we can talk to the winner. Oh, he's going to bust out the face cam. So we'll get Seth Shirley up in just a minute and talk to him about winning here tonight in Texas and get our nice little winners interview off. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see if we can't pull up our results and take a look. Right, standings. Got to wait for those 450 results to come in. There we go. So Colby Eaglin still leads the championship by 4 points over Luke Sullivan, 6 over Seth Shirley, and 14 over Braden Carter, heading into the triple point finale. 9-point difference from the win to second. We got 3 riders that winner take all could walk away next week as the champion. Real quickly, want to show our results from this evening so you guys can get a chance to see that. We'll look at 450 results from Fort Worth. And there we go right here. Seth Shirley takes the win with a 3-1. 50 points, a 5-2 for Luke Sullivan, gets him second, and Colby Eaglin goes 2-6 for third. Bodie Parker ends up fourth on a 1-8, and Pablo Vial rounds out the top 5 with a 7-4. All right, let's get the man on the line, the man, the myth, the legend. See if we can't talk to Mr. Seth Shirley here. I got to make sure he can hear me, too. All right, there it is.
Yeah,
Seth Shirley, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, we are dialed. Let's get Shirley on the screen. There's the man of the hour. Seth Shirley, our 450 overall winner here tonight. First off, congratulations, finally getting a dub in the 450 class here for SMX. That second moto, though, was pure chaos. A lot of guys battling you for the win. At any point, though, did you think, like, I don't need to win. I'll still maximize my points, or did you really want to go win this thing?
I really wanted to win. I know I could just settle down for the second and get the overall based on where everyone else was at, but I didn't really feel like going 3-2 for the overall. I kind of wanted to win the moto.
Yeah, I mean, set a precedence, right? Like, lay it down and let him let them know who's boss in this class. Man, this is crazy. The championship, basically winner take all between you, Luke, and Colby going into the finale now. I guess just take me through how you feel about it going into Vegas, and I guess how you felt tonight. Probably going to be pretty similar slickness, track design, everything next week. So kind of worked out well tonight. Should work well next week.
I feel good. The difference between last week and this week was definitely everyone could recognize it. I showed it. So only go up going into next week and hopefully come out on top.
Seth Shirley, our overall winner here tonight in Texas. Take me through this track tonight. A lot of guys are struggling with the slickness of it in qualifying. It seems like you guys were really keen to kind of stay upright, especially exiting the sand. There was that kind of shelf that kind of bit you guys a lot. And then the inside and the off camber before the rhythm section as well was tricky. What about this track, man? It looked like it was tough.
I really like the track. Ever since lap one of qualifying, I gelled with it. It was definitely hard to... Everyone was so close in pace that it was hard to gain anything, hard to lose anything. So it was just all about being consistent and staying up and limiting the crashes and mistakes.
Well, a consistent side as well for you tonight. You had two pretty good starts, really good start in the first moto, mixed it up off the start in the second moto as well, got in the lead right away. Anything changed with your starts of late? New techniques or anything?
No, just putting myself in a better position. I had pretty good starts last week, just got unlucky in the second turn with the split lanes coming together.
Well, I mean, this is a short start here, so is it your launch that's what's really dialed right now, or is it something to do with your setup that you just get off the gate a little bit better?
Maybe a little bit both. This week was different because they implemented the great traction this week to whereas last week didn't have it. So staying over the front was key and not having to triple clutch it really.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, congratulations on the win tonight. We'll let you go celebrate it with all your buddies. But first off, who you want to congratulate on winning here in Texas?
I'd like to thank the Maverick and everyone over at Providence, Chris and Emmanuel for being in the call, Hunter Dasher, and thanks to everyone else.
Yeah, I guess I should just ask you about switching over to Providence. Obviously, a new team for you guys, and seems like things are rolling off pretty well for you so far. What do you think about the program over there and everyone that you're dealing with now?
I like it. Me and Maverick decided to start up our own shebang and see how it goes. And I think it'd be nice to have a new team in the races and new skins, more skins for you to see on streams.
Hell yeah, man. Awesome job tonight. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you going for it next week, winner take all Vegas finale.
Thank you. Thank you for the streams.
No problem. All right, that was Seth Shirley talking to us on his win here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, wrapping things up for you guys here on the broadcast. All right, that's going to do it for us here at round 2 of the MX Simulator playoffs. Seth Shirley takes the dub in the 450s. Seth Carr takes the win in 250s. It was a night of the Seths in Texas, and many congratulations to both of them. Sets up a winner-take-all showdown. 3 riders in the 450 class next week in Las Vegas. And don't count out Braden Carter, 14 points back, could also get in and throw his name in the hat for the championship as well. So big shout out to MXS Battlegrounds for all the work they do, Jacob Hubbard and everyone behind the scenes building the track. Thanks so much to them and to all of you guys that tuned in here to round 2 of the MX Simulator playoffs. We're going to send you guys on your way, and we'll see you next week here in Las Vegas to wrap this thing up. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you then. So long for now.